left off last night. By the way, thank you guys for all the subs you guys are running up on Twitch. By the way, salute to anyone who's also subscribing on Rumble as well. You know, obviously we have Rumble rants, and I'm working on getting some emotes over at Rumble as well. You all know that's a home base for us. Now, I want to get to some topics real quick. Is there anything that I kind of missed out on? I'm gonna kind of jump really into shit. Somebody said what? Oh, what? Somebody says, oh, no Burna Boy today? No. We're going to get to some Burna Boy. Remember, I'm going to go see his concert tomorrow. I ain't going to lie. I'm dumb hype. Usually, like, when people get invited to go to concerts, they go and they'll try to be all cool. Nigga, I'm going to be wilding out at this concert. I ain't going to lie to you. I see some people are really interested in this whole 6ix9ine and Anuel thing. Yeah, they got a whole little beef going on, man. I from what I'm hearing, it's kind of getting messy. It's getting kind of nasty. I really don't know, like, everything that's being said, but I kind of get the gist of it. 6ix9ine brought in that man's kid, that man's ex-wife or wife or whatever the case is, and shit is getting really serious. I'm hoping nothing happens bad, but they both live down there in Miami. I ain't gonna lie to you. Let me see what else. Let me see. Somebody said, if I need a translator, my boy Pablo, he's on the job. All right, bet. We got a bunch of things going on. Yo, what I didn't get to last night, and I do have a few things, so I'll give you like an overview of some of the stuff I wanted to get to. I want to talk about this Marcus Jordan and Larsa Pippen thing for a little bit. Britney Spears getting bitch slapped. Dwight Howard and him and his son, how they're dealing with stuff. I feel like every day we're getting another clip of Adam either co-signing or saying some wild shit that don't. Again, I'm chalking it up to promo, but nonetheless we gotta talk about it, and usually I'm disavowing it, that type of fuckery. What else? Oh, and then we got the snitch files going on. Now, let me first just start off by giving you a YNW Melly update. We're not going to be covering the case until Monday. So the case returns back on Monday. And when it does return on Monday, okay, there was a update. So they were in court, not the defendant, which is obviously YNW Melly, but his lawyers and the prosecutors were in court today because a motion was being decided on by the judge. The judge, which is John Murphy, he basically denied the state's motion to have the jury go on a field trip. Like, this is like high school. Like, yo, hey, hop in a yellow bus. We all going on a field trip. They wanted to bring the jury to go see the Jeep with all the bullet holes and the dried up blood and like flesh fragments. It's kind of disgusting. You get what I mean? But they wanted the jury to see it for themselves, to see how heinous and how wild of a crime scene it was. This was the judge ruling on the matter.
Anything else for Roll Down?
Yes, Judge. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Respectfully, the motion tonight. I don't think it's necessary to have a jury view. I don't think it's essential. There's all type of photographs of the vehicle in question. I don't think it's going to assist the jury to any great degree analyzing the evidence. So, respectfully, the motion tonight. Anything else for Roll Down?
Okay, so he pretty much denied the motion. I think that's an important step for YNW Melly. Again, you know, a lot of people try to score this trial. I keep telling y'all can't score a trial like this. You got to think about the people who are deciding it. I know it's, you need to be guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, but these are people who are going to be sitting through this trial, which is is expected to be about a month and a half long. It should conclude at the end of this month. They're hearing stuff. They're seeing pictures. They're being affected by it. And yes, maybe there is reasonable doubt, but they might be like, man, this nigga did it. Fuck it. And things do affect humans. You know what I mean? Like, shit, if, you know, I don't know, like, well, I don't want to make those type of comparisons. Again, it could swing the juror's mind, or at least have them, you know, a little bit more emotionally charged when they're looking in the car that the person died in. Like, you're bringing them so close to where the death occurred. You can imagine at that point, there was a juror getting really emotional and saying that they were nervous because they saw somebody in a ski mask testifying, and they say, yo, there's a nigga in a ski mask testifying in court. I guess back in the day they got robbed or something like that by somebody in a ski mask. They got PTSD, all that type of stuff. Very valid reasons. You might not want to see nobody with a shiesty, especially when nobody else got a shiesty on, right? Now, when you bring those same people who are jurors to now be like, yo, hey, here's the Deathmobile. Like, they might be, like, fucked up off that. And, again, that could go towards, not only getting a guilty verdict for Melly, but definitely sending him to the chair, which means the death penalty. So the judge said, nah, y'all show them pictures. Y'all don't need to bring them on a fucking field trip to go see the bullet holes in dried up blood and vehicle. And I think that's a minor win for Melly. If we are trying to figure out where the trial's at right now, it's a tale of two halves, if you ask me. If you're a juror who is looking at this and say, damn, it's fucked up that these two guys died, which I imagine everybody's saying. If you're looking to hold somebody accountable, I think all of the evidence that's being provided with the GPS, the ballistics, the medical examiner speaking about whatever, they all basically conclude that it was a nigga in the car that did the shooting. Again, that's like circumstantial evidence. And I think if that is the thing that swayed you, you're going to say Melly did it. If it's the lack of witnesses, lack of motive, people basically not being able to actually affirm that he was there, and anybody who's actually not like a state, like a police, like either expert or like some DNA lab person, everybody else is talking about Melly like he's a great fucking guy. So if you believe that part, you would say, yo, again, y'all ain't do enough to make me think he's guilty. It's all what people are going to perceive, and it's all down to those jurors. But the case has a long way to go because we haven't heard Melly's side of the case. Usually how it goes, the prosecutor gives their case, then the defense gives their case. They do closing arguments. Then it goes to deliberation. And, yeah. So let's not make any assumptions. But that's a real quick update on the YNW Melly trial. Yo, we're going to get into some of the snitch file shit that I'm seeing going on now, bro. Listen, before I get into this, and let me put it up. And if we could somebody get 1090 Jake on Discord? That'd be great. Let me tell you this. 1090 Jake, I have to actually give him credit, but I also have to warn him. I think what 1090 Jake has done, to me, is the closest thing of shaking up the rap community since I did the War in Chiraq. And obviously it's two different things, but the impact was sort of similar. Like what the War in Chiraq did, it was almost like, obviously drill music was happening, but it was like people were so close to it, and it was like this ongoing thing that people were just always hearing about shit going on. That's the case nowadays with everything, you know what I mean? Like shit, whether it's like whatever beef or war in Philly or whatever situations in Detroit or whatever the case is. At the moment, I knew it was kind of edgy. I didn't necessarily have the best outlook or even have a knowledgeable outlook of how it could really affect people. I think what 1090 Jake is doing now, I think is going to change gangster rap forever. I'm going to be honest with you. Yo, there's another snitch getting unveiled every day. Yo, 1090 Jake is literally just killing everybody's reputation off in the fucking game. Now, we heard about the Rich Homie Quan thing. We heard about Finesse 2 Times. We're going to get into that as well. But then now we're hearing 03 Greedo. This is a guy, from what I'm hearing, this guy is just, he's like he's official to the bone gristle, okay? Except now he's supposedly exposed as being a cooperant. And, back when I was doing the War in Chiraq, luckily, I wasn't in Chicago, right? But I do also want to warn 1090 Jake. I think some of these niggas about to start getting on his ass. I'm going to keep it 100 with you. Like, I think they're realizing that the power that 1090 Jake is now built up, like, he snap his finger and do a video on you. And, nigga, like, I seen people today on the timeline say, yeah, I can't listen to 03 Greedo no more. I'm like, damn. You know what I mean? Like, niggas been listening for 5 years. One video come out, yeah, fuck that nigga. So anyway, I'm going to watch this video about the 03 Greedo thing, and then we're going to get into Finesse 2 Times thing afterwards. If you don't know him, he's a legendary rapper out of, the West Coast. He was locked up for a period of time. He got back out, and the streets was definitely behind him. However, this is a big indictment. So let's just open this up and see what the fuck going on. You know what I mean? Somebody said Quando Stench 2. I think in this video, Quando didn't say anything, but we could watch this video afterwards. But check this out.
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on 03 Greedo and the new paperwork that just came to light. June 28th, 2016. It was 10:47 in the morning when a Potter County Sheriff's deputy in Texas pulled over a vehicle on the highway for a traffic violation. Approaching the passenger side door, the deputy immediately smelled burnt marijuana and realized the passenger was in the vehicle as his seat had been fully reclined. Making the driver aware he can't be in the left lane if he isn't passing other vehicles, he apologized and said he wasn't from around. The deputy pointed out multiple highway signs indicating the left lane's purpose when the passenger said, "I'm a rapper." The driver said he saw the signs but didn't know what they meant, and the rapper said, "If I was driving, I would have known." Asking the driver for his license and insurance, the passenger rapper said the car was a rental and handed over his driver's license instead of the driver. The passenger would be identified as 28-year-old Jason Jamal Jackson, who's more commonly known as the Watts rapper 03 Greedo. The deputy would ask for the vehicle's rental agreement and again ask the driver for his license, to which he was told they didn't have either. The driver would say his name is Justin, and the deputy asked him to step out of the vehicle and walk back to the patrol car to gather his information. The deputy noted both men seemed nervous, talking fast, and over each other. Justin would sit in the front seat of the deputy's vehicle as the deputy noticed Greedo climb over to the driver's seat of the rental. Justin was fully identified as Justin Scott Leader and admitted his license was suspended over tickets. He advised they were traveling from Vegas to Houston and he was helping Greedo drive. When asked how long he'd known Greedo, Justin told the deputy a couple years. He was at his auntie's house in Vegas and Greedo was supposed to do a show in Vegas, and he came with him to Houston so he wouldn't have to be by himself. But Justin would state they both lived in California. The deputy didn't think the story made any sense, and a criminal search showed Greedo has an extensive criminal history for weapons-related offenses. Justin was calm, but his speech was rapid, and the deputy had to have him repeat things several times in order to write them down. When asked where he rented the car, Justin said, "I'm not sure." When asked who rented the car, Justin said, "You gotta ask him, I'm not even sure." Justin became restless as the deputy asked questions about their travel and the rental car. At times, Justin would scratch at his beard, wipe down his shirt, mess with his shorts, and fidget with his hands and arms. When asked if they had anything illegal in the car, he said no. When asked if Greedo had anything illegal on him, Justin said, "No sir, he don't got nothing. We just trying to make it to the show. Not a blunt of weed in there no more." The deputy advised Justin that he was going to search his car before approaching the vehicle on the driver's side where Greedo had moved to. Requesting he exit the vehicle, Greedo complied. The deputy advised dispatch that he was going to start searching the vehicle. Starting with the driver's side, the deputy observed an empty blunt wrap on the floor. With fast food and junk scattered throughout the car, the deputy pushed the trunk release button and observed a big black plastic trash bag with clothing inside. Several pairs of shoes, clothing, and an Adidas duffel bag was scattered throughout the trunk. On the left side was a Pamper diaper box that had excessive clear packaging tape to keep it shut. The tape did not appear to be that from the manufacturer. Through the handle holes on the side, it appeared to have the original contents of packaged baby diapers. Noticing the clothes in the trunk were damp with laundry detergent, the deputy returned to his patrol unit and put on latex gloves. Returning to the trunk, he removed the trash bag onto the floor and examined the contents further. Reaching in and grabbing the Pamper diaper box, he cut the heavily taped top portion. He saw 2 packs of diapers inside, with one already open and barely any diapers left in it. When he took the pack out, he then saw a brown paper bag, and inside of that was multicolored plastic bags with clear Ziploc bags inside of them. Moving the bags aside, the deputy then saw large crystallized rocks. Realizing he just found a stash of meth, The deputy drew his weapon, telling Greedo to get on the ground while yelling at Justin to put his hands up. Backup arrived and the two men were placed in cuffs as a total of 4.2 pounds of meth was removed from the pamper box, along with 2 stolen handguns that were found hidden in the center console of the vehicle. While inside of the back of the deputy's patrol car, 03 Greedo was recorded saying, "Damn bro, we slipped up. We fucked up really, but we can't talk in here. We messed it up." The two men would then be transported for an interview with the DEA. Special Agent Reese would interview the two men, and following Miranda, 03 Greedo would state he was being paid $3,000 to drive with Justin from California to Houston, and that he didn't know there was meth in the vehicle. He'd state he felt there was something illegal taking place, but didn't want to know the details. Agents attempted to speak with Justin, but following Miranda, he would not give any information regarding the meth and requested a lawyer. Both men would be arrested and charged with possessing roughly $80,000 worth of meth, while Greedo was also charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. 03 Greedo would be sentenced in 2018 to 20 years in prison, but would be free on parole in only 4 years. Not only did Greedo make an incriminating comment in the back of a recorded police car while telling his co-defendant they couldn't speak there, he essentially threw his co-defendant under the bus after telling a DEA agent he was being paid to travel with his co-defendant and felt something illegal was going on. With a 20-page arrest report showing he was the only one willing to speak with DEA agents, audio has also surfaced of Greedo's co-defendant speaking on the situation and clearing his own name because apparently Greedo was going around the hood saying his co-defendant snitched on him.
You gangster rap. How you say some weird shit like that?
What do you say?
The police asked him something and he was just like, I don't know. I got in the car with my friend, but I felt like something illegal was going on. I felt like there was something in there because I know him and I know how he is, but I didn't know about nothing.
At least how a nigga put that on my neck. Yo, niggas looking at me sideways. What if you niggas would have wanted to jump the ship and do something to a nigga? Like, think about that. You gotta know the lifestyle we living, bro, and the niggas we dealing with, and the shit we talk about and put out there out our lifestyle. So why would you put that out there? Man, what if I would have really got my head knocked back, bro?
Now keep in mind, I myself did not find this paperwork. This paperwork was sent to me by the Grapes.
Hey yo, Jake, you wanna expose these niggas on BL? These niggas hoes, mark ass, ratting ass niggas on GL. Drama time, nigga. Crunch time, nigga. Ain't nothing bigger, nigga. You know ain't nothing bigger, nigga. Yeah, nigga. PRM, nigga. Gang, nigga. Fuck wrong with you niggas.
And this wasn't just a 20-page arrest report. I was sent all the evidence photos from the case, leaving little to no room for argument about how valid the paperwork is. Knowing how strict California gang politics can be, the statement Greedo gave against his co-defendant is definitely damaging. And it's that much worse that law enforcement pointed out Greedo had an extensive criminal history, but it was his co-defendant who refused to answer questions and ask for a lawyer. It was also his co-defendant who told the deputy Greedo didn't have anything illegal on him when he could have put it all on Greedo. Now I know the politics behind this is gonna be heavy. You're gonna have people leaning one way, you're gonna have people leaning another way, right? How I look at it is this. Everyone on the internet has their own definition of snitching. People are gonna say, oh, he didn't snitch. Snitching is when two people go and commit a crime together and then one person tells on the other, If we take that, right, that example right there, they were pulled over. The driver said, oh, I didn't know what the signs meant. Because that's why they were pulled over, for a traffic violation. 03 Greedo was like, I'm a rapper. If I was driving, I would have known what the signs meant. Why would you even say that shit? That right there is already like, man, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, that little incident right there would be in the back of my mind like, this isn't about to go good. But then we get put in the back of the police car, right? Me and Greedo sitting there. I'm the driver. He goes, man, we fucked up. We can't talk in here, but we fucked up. Why are you talking in here? I know we're not supposed to talk in here. That's why I'm not talking in here. But you talking in here on the fucking camera. Then he gets interviewed by the DEA. The fucking DEA. They read him as Miranda. You have the right to remain silent. You can whatever. Do you still wish to speak with me? Yes. What happened? O3 Greedo says, I got paid $3,000 to drive down to Houston with him. I didn't know what was going on. I felt like something illegal was going on. I didn't know there was meth in there. That statement right there, in my opinion, you're throwing your co-defendant under the bus. I got paid $3,000 to travel with him. I felt like something illegal was going on, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't want the details, and I didn't know there was anything in the car. This is like literally the definition of you did something with somebody and then threw them under the bus. I felt like something illegal was going on. This is an admission of guilt. Why would you feel like something illegal is going on? You thought something was suspect that he was doing? So what are you really doing? That's how I'm looking at it. You felt something illegal was going on and you decided to say this to a DEA agent, which is gonna make him look at the other guy. Okay, so this guy must have been doing something. This guy must have whatever. Come to find out there's fucking 80K worth of meth and 2 guns in the center console. But see, I don't have to be the politician. I'm just a YouTuber. California politics, they're gonna politic themselves. And they got some of the strictest politics. I don't think you're supposed to give any fucking statement. Especially not saying, yeah, I got paid to, do this with him and I felt like he was, shit was moving funny. Shit doesn't look good. Let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section. I mean, we got to hear the co-defendant's thoughts on this. And once again, this is a rapper. We don't know if they're cool to this day. We don't know if, man, I'm gonna just let that shit slide, bro. It ain't that serious. We both did our time for this shit. We just gonna go back to getting this money. We don't know what the situation is of the relationship between them. But we heard the audio of the co-defendant feeling exactly how I feel. Why the fuck would you say something like that? That's crazy. Now, regardless of whether or not that statement was used against the co-defendant to punish him further, or the co-defendant felt like he couldn't do nothing but plea out because of that statement, homie, you wasn't supposed to give the statement. That's really what it comes down to. But let me know y'all's thoughts and comments in the comment section.
Yeah, I tell y'all, man, this snitching shit's so stupid. So let me get this straight. To be a street rapper, you need to have some street credentials, which most likely means you need to probably already had some contact with law enforcement. Maybe you got locked up, or you got accused of something, or you caught a significant case, okay? You got to have this as a prerequisite to be a real nigga, to be a real street rapper. So now you've had to catch a case before you got famous. You probably were broke, because why do people rap? To get money. So you probably didn't have money. So then when you caught this case, right? Let's just use the case of O3 Greedo. And by the way, I'm not defending nobody. I could care less. He was given 20 years. He did 4 years, right? Again, 20 years, a 20-year sentence of anybody's life is significant. Again, maybe I'm just too liberal, or just, again, I'm just not from the streets. And again, my opinion don't really matter. Unless that nigga gave a name, unless he gave a name, I'm not calling this nigga a snitch neither. Again, remember, I'm not a street nigga. I don't call Boston Richie a snitch. Just based on this, maybe I'm just trying to rationalize it too much. He told the cops, hey, listen, I was just in the car with niggas. I don't know what's going on. I didn't hear him say, oh, he did this and he did that. Shit, it's like somebody finding a gun in the car. Everybody gonna act like, nah, I didn't know there was a gun in there. Nah, I just happened in there. Anyway, it does look bad, that line where he allegedly says, what he says, I knew something illegal was going on. Yeah, that sounds wild. But again, man, I'm just not about to convict everybody to the same scarlet snitch letter that has been given to people like 6ix9ine. Like I don't think this and 6ix9ine is in the same realm. 6ix9ine signed a K. Well, he got a. It's not K2. What's it called again? 5K. He got a 5K1 letter by the prosecutor because he got up on the stand and cooperated. Like I just think it's different levels to it. Now, is it dry snitching? Is it you said too much? You should have shut the fuck up. Probably that. Does that mean his career should be over? Now, granted, 1090 Jake never says that, don't support this guy. He just tells you what he finds as the objective facts. But, there are ramifications in hip-hop. And I look at it and I'm like, man, I think if y'all like O3 Greedo before, y'all should still support him. Why would y'all not support him? Like, what's the thing? Anyway, the next issue came up with Finesse 2 Times, right? So, Finesse 2 Times. And I feel like we played the audio of it yesterday. I know Whack 100 was like chiming in on it and all type of shit. Here we go. Let me see.
Nigga, it's a real situation. Somebody could have in fact snitched on him and got him to his mama house. But that don't take away from the fact that the paperwork.
Okay. Hip hop is in such an interesting place. Finesse 2 Times responds. Okay, so this was a response.
Peace.
It's the nigga that they love to hate, man. It's the one and only, man. The one that they love to hate, man. Look, I'm gonna make shit real short and simple, though. Cause I got some shit going on. Finna hit the streets, right? So look. If you ever been to a federal system, or if you know anybody that been to a federal system, a USP, or medium high, we got something called PSIs. They want 2 to 3 things. They want your PSI, they want your docket, and they want your transcripts from your current case. I just did 5 years and I ain't never been no PC. I done had paperwork parties. That's my first point. And your PSI, what your PSI do, to break it down to people who don't know, it's called a pre-sentencing report. Pre-sentencing investigation, one of them. And what the PSI tell is every charge you ever caught. Every charge you ever caught since you've been a juvenile. It tells if you have made a statement, if you cooperated on this specific case, or whatnot. Now, past it, because I ain't finna be breaking it down too much either. Because real street, real gangsters, and time will tell, y'all will see, so many more gonna keep on f***ing with me. So many more gonna, because they know, they the streets, like real street, real gangsters, real street, real gangsters, they know what's going on. So I ain't gotta do too much explaining. Second, and I'm done after this, because I don't really entertain too much shit, y'all know that. Secondly, you cannot, that little shit I seen was, they said from 2008, y'all didn't do y'all homework. So you niggas ain't smart enough. You know why? So you niggas ain't smart enough. You can't go get no paperwork from when a nigga was a juvenile. Do you know how many niggas told on me as a juvenile that I can't go get the paperwork to prove it? I can't pay for it. I can't look it up. If it's a case, any case number, any case docket can be looked up. Go look it up. Go find it yourself. That's all I gotta say, man. You know what I'm saying? If it's true, go look it up. Go pay for it. Go read up on it, and then get back at me.
All right. Well, 1090 Jake responded to Finesse 2 Times. And this is what he said.
Y'all heard what Finesse said?
1090, Jake
He
goes
said the
off
shit
What the fuck?
is fake. Paper but always show me love. But they posted what he posted. He's saying it's fake because you can't get juvenile paperwork. But if you get adjudicated as an adult, it becomes adult records. That's the case number. It's the aggravated robbery in 2008. Apparently, you pled guilty to this shit. And your co-defendant's paperwork is also on here. And if you was a juvenile, but he was an adult, your paperwork is going to be in his paperwork. And this one of the same robberies that paperwork was talking about. And he got developed as a suspect 3 days after the alleged interview given.
If you ever been to federal,
Okay. Then Finesse 2 Times mom hopped in the mix. Yes, it gets that deep, people.
Phone and see motherfuckers calling talking about my boy done snitched. Man, that shit crazy. How a motherfucker snitch and done laid down filth?
Yo, genetics is a bitch, ain't it? Nigga, she looks just like Finesse 2 Times. Nigga, like exactly like Finesse 2 Times, dog.
15 motherfucking years of their life. Who snitched? Y'all better check that paperwork. Check his paperwork. The fuck. Then I go on these bloggers and look in the comments, and it's half of my Facebook friends. Half of you on there. That man ain't never been no snitch. The fuck is wrong with y'all, man? Social media a mess for real. Social media is a mess for real, man. This shit'll make you or break you. For real. Ain't snitched on nobody. Now time he went to jail. And he could have. He could have told on every motherfucker involved with everything. But that man laid down. He ain't say shit to nobody. He did his time like a motherfucking man. And laid down. He ain't tell on now motherfucker. And that nigga that's out there putting that shit out there, that's the that snitch. The f they at my motherfucking house for looking for Ricky. Because that snitch. He told it on Ricky. The f fake that paperwork, man. All that fake paperwork. Y'all better stop believing that thing y'all see on this blue out, man. The blue one, the red, white, and blue one, all them motherfuckers. Real talk. Y'all better stop believing that shit. Then go in the comments and comment like you know what the f I'm talking about. The f It pissed me off because my baby been gone all this time, and then I'm gonna come talking about he snitching. The f that shit got me mad as a motherfucker. How the f he snitching? And a went and laid down. Not in the county jail, the penitentiary, the Fed. Yeah. The Fed.
Damn, this is such a street mama right here. Listen, I don't know about y'all mama, but if I get in trouble, my mama was going to be the first one to say, man, tell on them niggas and get out of there. The fuck? My mama going to be the first. Ain't no way my mama going to be like, hold it down. Hell no. Hell to the fucking no. My mama going to be like, listen, I know I raised a good son, so tell on who you got to tell on to get the fuck back home. Like, who the hell is going to say, yo, nah, this is a street mama right here. I see her.
My baby ain't never did shit, stood on business.
Oh, shit.
That's it.
Stood on
He
business.
never snitched on now.
Tell her, mama.
Nah, fuck that. Then went all the way back and went and got a picture from I don't even nowhere. to be finesse so bad. You want some clout so bad, man. So
Nah, she do give some Mama Duck vibes. Now I ain't gonna lie.
bad. But let me keep on seeing. I'm gonna start addressing you. Period. And he don't even approve of that shit. He like, no, man. That's social media. Them folk gonna say what the they wanna say. Yeah, but a ruffling my feathers. Talking about my son done snitched.
This is why the snitching shit is this is why the snitching shit is kind of like, you know, it's at an interesting point where, number one, I do believe that, you know, if these guys are promoting an image, that there are fans and whoever who have been consuming and supporting that image, whether through music or whatever, it's natural that they're going to be interested to see either proof or see whatever that would either prove or disprove if that nigga is actually living that image, if the image of said rapper is actually meeting what he's actually doing. But, you know, when you start talking about, especially when it comes to rap, you know why his mom is this, you know, aggravated? Finesse 2 Times, like him blowing up probably changed his whole family. His mom probably not working, this and third. Bro, they're probably really fucking upset that this could be a bump in the road of his career. This could jeopardize his income, which jeopardizes their situation. So it's a lot more than just, oh, did he stand on business? Well, if nobody fucks with him in the music industry and his career gets, you know, kind of killed or stalled because people think he's a snitch, well, your livelihood is done. Like, so again, it's a lot more than did he tell or not. If his career gets stalled out by these allegations, it affects a lot of people's lives. You get what I mean? Anyway, I didn't get to play this as well. I'm gonna play this Whack 100 thing afterwards, but O3 Greedo did respond to the 1090 Jake video in a sense, and this is what he said. Hold on. What he said.
I want you bitch ass niggas to know, like, you know, I did 5. Nobody else did nothing off this conviction, this time, whatever y'all calling it. Let's be clear. My hood ain't mad at me. Ain't nothing whacked out, you hear me? How we stand is, that's cute. Who in jail? Oh, that was Greedo work, but it's still telling. I ain't never said that, but if they want to say I said that, fuck it. Let's go get the videos. I did half a decade. Nobody else in jail. It's my work. I just want you bitch ass.
He says the truth on the way.
I just want you bitch ass niggas to know, like, you know, I did 5. Nobody else did nothing off this conviction.
Okay, it's the same video. He said, you know you done fucked up, don't you? So apparently, at least O3 Greedo's saying that, I guess whatever hood dude sent it to 1090 Jake, that's not, he's either not from his hood or not representative of his hood because his hood ain't mad at him. And also, he's basically saying that, yo, it was my stuff. I did all the time for it, and I'm the one who went in jail. So how could I snitch? Now, with me, I agree with that in theory. I don't know if that's actually what happened in his case. Are we going to start calling people, like, snitches if we don't even know who they snitched on? You get what I mean? Like, I feel like the snitch word and snitch title is being thrown around so freely, and it's based on if somebody may have, like, allegedly said something that could be TMI, like, oh, nah, you said too much, right? Not knowing that the police could lie. The police could lie. So, O3 Greedo say standing on it. He's the man to see surveillance footage or whatever backseat cam footage or when they were in the car that he allegedly said whatever people are claiming he said. But he said he's the only one who did time. We'll see if that matters. Most of this stuff, like, I'm like so snitched out these days, man. Like, it's bro, I don't know, man. It's like, for what? Anyway, so that was the finesse 2 times thing. Yeah, his mom responded. Again, this was supposedly some incident that happened while he was a teenager. There was other people that were not juveniles on the case, but apparently the reason why people could find it is that, number one, it was leaked by somebody who was connected to the case, but number 2, the reason why you could find it, like how Jake found it, is because the case got adjudicated, which means the decision on what happened to the case got determined after he was 18. So that's why it's searchable. Again, don't want to turn into a fucking lawyer with all these things, but you're getting all these people who like, you know, they would like to pretend that cooperating or snitching ain't that popular. They're all having to deal with the new reality that there's a new nigga getting exposed for allegedly telling damn near every day. Let me hear what Wack had to say.
Is an interrogation.
You ask me, I don't think it's making.
Hold on.
That man laid down. That man laid down in the feds. Okay. Then she says, the niggas that sent him over here to the house, they the ones told. So now you just acknowledge it is a real case. You follow me, Bang?
Yep.
You just acknowledge that this case is a real case.
Right.
Now, here we go. I don't doubt that somebody told and sent them to your house, Miss Lady. But if you read the paperwork, Bang, the paperwork is saying he told in the interrogation tank.
Oh shit.
You lining him up. You know you can't put nothing in front of me. Wait up, hold on, nigga. You start off with the feds, then you end with, but you know you can't get juvenile paperwork. She say, yeah, he went to.
All right, listen, I don't salute to Wack, but I want to hear Law and Order Wack right now. Hey, did y'all hear Wack 100 and Kuda B? This show is hilarious. So Kuda B did a whole like Vlad interview press run this and third, and for whatever reason, Kuda B got on. Did I play this yet? I don't think I played it. Kuda B got on Clubhouse and was talking to Wack. Now, Wack been saying for the longest that Kuda B snitched on 6ix9ine. That's Wack's, like, you know, disposition, saying Kuda B, the guy who shot at Chief Keef, snitched on 6ix9ine. This shit goes left hella fucking quick. Wack is just hilarious.
Yeah, bring him up.
Here we go.
Space. You know I don't.
I want to know how your name came up. Your man, what's that nigga name? Who name I brought? Max Really Real.
Max Really Real.
6ix9ine responded. We got the content too. Go find that shit. You can hear it for yourself. 6ix9ine responded. 6ix9ine.
So he's talking to Kuda B. He's telling Kuda B how his name came up into this whole, like, you know, why did he start calling Kuda B a snitch?
Responded and said, nope, that nigga told the motherfucking police that I paid him to go have a nigga go have shots fired at Chief Keef, blase. 6ix9ine, hold on. 6ix9ine put up a clip, but it was from like the news, right? So Max Really Real tells me, this your man, homie. Yo, Wack, if you a real nigga, you will go pull the paperwork. This what he tell me. I said, I don't know this nigga. That's your man's. Nah, gang, if you a real nigga, you will go pull the paperwork. He called me out on the spot. So I go pay and pull the paperwork. It's up there in my picture right now. All your statements. Your statements come back. You gave a statement. Your man Max put your name on this app and it's on record. Me and you both know I don't know you. You breaking up, homie.
Turn your Wi-Fi off. You're in the Matrix, Huda.
But at the end of the day, you ratted. It's right there in my paper in the PTR. You gave a statement, homie.
Hey, yo, bro, you dead faking for clout, bro.
It's right there, bro. You want me to read it? Hold on, I'm gonna read it. Hold on,
Yeah,
bro.
read it.
I'm gonna read it. Nigga, you know one thing about Wack, I'm gonna have to work.
I got told. Nigga, I copped out.
Hold on, bro.
Hold on, Kuda. He's gonna read it. Kuda, hold on.
Wait. Be quiet, bro. Right? Here we go, right here, right? You already read that. Are you familiar yourself with what it is on this piece of paper, right? The defendant, yes. The court, are you confident that everything in there is truthful and accurate? The defendant, which is you, yes. The court, go ahead. On June 2018, I was present and helped arrange for another individual to shoot a gun at a rival that Tekashi wanted to scare. The court, shoot a gun. The defendant, at a rival that Tekashi wanted to scare. The court, at a rival that Tekashi wanted to scare, correct? The defendant, you, yes. I arranged for the individual to be driven to Times Square and carry out the plan in front of the W Hotel, where the target came out of the hotel and the individual fired the shot. Right. Hold on. Second part of the paperwork. Right? Here it go right here, bro. June 2nd, 2018, McKenzie agreed to accept money from Daniel Hernandez, aka 6ix9ine, to shoot at a rival member and rapper who was staying at the hotel. Hey, listen, bro, I don't know where you young niggas come from, but anytime you cop out, whenever you use any other name outside of yours, use a motherfucking rat. Use a rat bastard, bitch ass, rat ass nigga. You gave a nigga name in court. Did you not give it? Keep blood out your mouth, bitch. Did you not give his name up in court? Did you not give 6ix9ine name up in court? Yes or no? Did you not tell him that he paid you to go have that done? You's a rat, bitch ass, bastard, bitch ass nigga. Bitch, you's a rat. Nigga, I ain't no new school nigga. You gave up a name. Did you get a name up? Did you give the name up? Yes or no? Yes or no?
Yes or no, bitch?
Did you get a name up, nigga? When that fucking judge asked you, did you answer the questions? You supposed to plead the fifth, you bitch. You supposed to plead the fifth. You was looking at a 20-year beef. Bitch, you gave the name up, nigga. And you brought your bitch ass on my platform. I'ma turn you over to Beast. Beast, go ahead on and milk this nigga for the clout. I'm going to mute.
You bitch ass. Yo, it's like he just handed that nigga over to the piranhas. Now, wax a demon when it comes to Clubhouse, but yeah, the snitching conversation just kind of getting all over the place, people. I do got some regular topics. Yo, I seen this today, and I wanted to see what y'all thought about it, right? This is kind of like an intuitive conversation, but a conversation that is very relevant at the time, at these days, because we're constantly having these conversations about, first of all, LGBTQIA+ issues, pronouns, shit, should they be teaching certain type of trans type of, education in school for kids? And this kind of came out of the blue where, all pun intended, Blueface was shooting a video with a bunch of scallywags. So he got a bunch of, he be getting them degenerate bitches. And, he be shooting like hood music videos. So he got them in his crib, He about to probably shoot a video with the girls, fuck them after something like that. His kid's around, okay? Now his kid ain't around where the bitch is at. His kid goes to the pantry, looking through the pantry. By the way, you could tell, listen, his pantry was like the Sahara Desert. Nothing in there. The kid in there looking for food, ain't nothing in there. Regardless, Blueface looks at his kid and says, yo, brother, why you not over there where the bitch is at? Then he asks his kid, you not gay, is you? This has caused all type of outrage. Let me play the video. Here it is, okay? This is his new girl. He considered himself as a football coach. He said Kershaw acting up. He swapped her out. This is his new starter, which is his baby mom's. Her name is Jaden, okay? Well, oh shit, I gotta take the. Are these bitches naked? Oh, they're not naked. Okay, good.
Casual day with Jay Nasty. Son, come here.
That's his son.
There's booty cheeks out here. You in here looking for chips and Slim Jims and shit. You ain't gay, is you? Huh? Are you gay? You ain't gay, right? My man. My dog. My young.
Okay.
Y'all sit right here while I go.
That's the newborn. This is his son.
Go fondle with these
Not too sure who this young daughter is or somebody.
young women for a little bit, all right? You in charge. You second in charge, all right? All right. All right, bro. Y'all sit right here.
Okay. Anyway, a lot of people are outraged because he asked his son, "Yo, you not gay, are you?" Right? Some people have the opinion that just like how most people are saying that you shouldn't be having trans issues being pushed onto kids, you know what I mean? Because they're trying to educate kids now about like more than two genders and all that type of shit and like what trans looks like and whatever the case is. And a lot of people say, hey, when you're teaching them that, you're kind of pushing that onto them. Some people are saying, well, it's the same thing in the opposite realm. If Blueface is I won't say necessarily sexualizing his kid, but asking his kid about you not gay as you're also pushing whatever onto your child as well. So it's kind of equally as bad. I'm wondering what y'all think about this. I didn't really think it was a big deal. I see a lot of people like this is on Baller Alert. I think I had about like 5,000 comments. Women always look at all type of shit. It's like asking his son if he's gay must be a priority over that empty ass pantry. Yo, he needs to be asking why there isn't enough food in the pantry yet. Yet rocking all that ice on his wrist. Stop it. He's definitely sick and disgusting, but the mother is even more sick and disgusting for allowing this behavior around her children. Whatever. He definitely needs to chill before CPS come knocking on the door. This is hella inappropriate. He makes me sick, and the video alone should make all you blogs stop posting it, stop giving this man a platform. This is a reminder that financial stability doesn't always mean you're ready for children. He's so unfit, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that was that big of a deal. You know what I mean? Like again, maybe I'm normalizing something that's toxic. You know, like for example, I know like, you know, I've been the youngest of my brothers, right? And you know, when I kind of I kind of like had a younger brother when our younger cousin was kind of growing up and he kind of wanted to hang with us. And I remember a lot of times because that's just what men, again, most men talk about, females. When we would talk to him about it, at least at a certain age, he would be a little shy. And then we kind of like joke on him about it. I'm like, nigga, you're not gay or something, right? Like, again, I don't think that's so toxic. But I think these days people are a little bit pussy. But I think people are also worried about your children or even kids being able to grow up and not feel pressured to be anything they're not. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. I feel that a parent and how they want to raise their kids and whatever ideals they want to try to even indoctrinate with them as long as it's legal, I think should be fine. If you got a son or a daughter and you prefer to try to like edge them or lean them to a way that is either heterosexual or homosexual, if that's what you're on. I think if that's your kid, I don't got no fucking problem with it. It's your kid. That's Blueface's son. Why the fuck we over here trying to tell him how to parent his son? He trying to make sure his son kind of be like him. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I have, first of all, I don't even want no daughter. But when I have a son, I want a mini-me, okay? I don't want no Zaire Wade type shit. I need a mini-me. Real talk. Like, you know what I mean? No disrespect. No, Zaire Wade look like is it Zaire? Great person, everything. I just want a mini-me. I'm just telling you from what I want for my kid. You get what I mean? And I just think that we got to allow people to be their own unique individual. And, you got to allow fathers to kind of have some type of, some type of leeway with also raising their own kids. Like, if not, Zaya now? Oh, I don't know, my brother. Somebody say he a baby, though? Bro, it's not like he beating the nigga's ass saying, yo, you better not be gay. You're not beating the nigga's ass. He's just making a little joke. Bro, what's the problem? Wait, y'all that sensitive? Nah, man. I don't think Listen, I'm one of the people who criticize Blueface very frequently. I don't think what Blueface did there was that out of pocket. Obviously, as a little kid like that little kid is, of course he's not going to be thinking about girls. Actually, it would be pretty weird if he was thinking about, if he was already sexualized, leaning to whatever gender. It would have been weird. So I don't think that Blueface was trying to like be on some, oh, no, nigga, you better be this. But he's just making a joke. It's his son. Why can't he make a joke with his son? They got little cool handshakes. They doing or whatever. Nah, let that man cook. I think we're living in a society now where, again, maybe he's going from the same train of thought from last night. Don't kill me for it. Just if you disagree, just voice your opinion, and we can see if we can find middle ground or some place to debate. Man, we live in a time right now where, like, if a father wants to parent his child in his own way, he gets demonized. If a man wants to tell his woman and the mother of his child, yo, you out here dressing like a smut, he gets demonized. Like, these days, you just got to allow people to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And my thing is that if you can't even, not saying he wasn't really parenting his son or telling his son he can't do this or can't do that, but if people are judging the way that you even talk to your kids, you get what I mean? If people are judging the way, now granted, I'm not gonna say he's a perfect parent because I don't think he should have his kid around them slurs who's popping pussy in the living room. Yeah, your kid is probably a little bit awkward in that situation and probably don't want to be around it. He wants to watch cartoons. That's why he's hiding in the pantry looking for Slim Jims. You should probably have him either being watched by another adult or somewhere that's not close to your entertainment fuckery. He don't want to see your Blue Rose Club. He don't want to see bitches twerking. Okay, he's a young kid, but Blueface having a little jokey joke with his son, I'm not killing him for it, bro. Like, come on, man. Come the fuck on. Somebody says the hypocrisy is funny. When a woman dresses a certain way, you criticize her and say, what about the kids? When Blueface does it, you defend it. I don't give a fuck how Blueface dress. I mean, if Blueface was wearing a fucking, like one of them little Speedo thongs, like on some Lil Nas X shit, I'd be like, yo, bro, nigga, yo, chill the fuck out. Like, the God of Love, I'm not too sure what you were talking about with the hypocrisy there. Now, granted, this is the same thing with the Keke Palmer shit. I don't got a problem with Keke Palmer's man and father of her child checking her like, yo, bitch, you looking like a smut out here. I don't have a problem with, but I think he should have done it off of social media. On social media, it looks tacky, and also it looks like you're trying to show her up. Now you got a bunch of people with batteries in their back kind of supporting her on some feminist shit, and then now you look like a sucker because everybody looking at you like, damn, you can't control your girl. Conversation should have been probably had in private. Regardless, again, just to even wrap this up, my overall thing is, we got to allow within reason fathers to be fathers to their kid. And I don't think it's unreasonable, even if, and by the way, this is probably his personal opinion, if he wants to try to hopefully steer his kid into the way of maybe like being like him, and that could even be also being heterosexual, I don't think that's a fucking problem. Now, granted, like, there's levels to this. Like, Boosie was like, yo, he was getting his son's dick sucked by a grown-ass woman at 13. Boosie was on some other shit. Like, Boosie said he was bringing the scallywags to suck his teenage son's dick that was underage. That's wild. We're not co-signing that. But, little harmless joke. Come on, man. Come on, bro. We got your fathers gotta be able to be fathers, right? All right. Speaking about fathers being fathers, people. You know, anytime a man, let me tell you this. Anytime a man is having too good of a day, is always a bitch close by to fuck up that good day. Okay, trust and believe. I see my man Dwight Howard. You know that nigga is playing for the Shanghai Sharks these days. He's cooling. He loving it over in China. That nigga, he over here looking like hot sauce and AI. He crossing niggas up behind the back, throw the ball in the shirt, dunking from the free throw line. He's the star. Nobody can tell him shit. He not the 12th nigga coming off the bench like how he was with the Lakers. He's the fucking star. So he's having a fun time. He's getting paid pretty decent or whatever the case is. But if y'all don't remember, man, right when he was really new to the league, he did one of the cardinal sins. He got one of these scallies pregnant, and it was none other than Royce Reed. She was a cheerleader, if I'm not incorrect, for the 76ers, and you could tell she wasn't trying to cheerlead shit. She was trying to just lock up a basketball player. He nutted at her. And after that, she's been on Basketball Wives ever since. It's been really messy between them. Essentially, what happened is that he, what do you do? He got a gag order on her. So basically, you know, these bitches, like, they think now that you fucked them, they get all the right to clout chase off of you and embarrass you for eternity. So he got a gag order on her. So when she's on the reality show, she can't talk about him. She was super tight because, like, these Basketball Wives, little thought reality show shit, all they do is talk about the nigga, right? These bitches is boring as watching paint dry. So, okay, cool. My man, he been in China playing for Shanghai Sharks or whatever. He posted a video of him and his son, okay? Now, I call this a father. His son is working out. He says he's trying to train his son to get in the gym. If you ever look at Dwight Howard, physical fucking specimen, all right? So, you know, he puts his caption, process of being great is going to be laughs, frowns, smile, tears, blood, and sweat, but that's what's needed for us to succeed as individuals and collectively as a family, okay? Basically, he's saying that he's trying to encourage his kid and motivate his kid, and they're working out. So his kid kind of didn't really want to get through it. He's motivating his kid. Now, again, I'm on the side of saying, and I might be a bad example. I was born in Jamaica. You know, shit, I don't even know if you could beat your kids over here, but I used to get my ass whipped. My relatives used to get their ass whipped. Like, this shit is normal. You tough love is the only love we know, okay? So, that's my mindset going into things, okay? There is no, go to your room, Johnny. You're on timeout. There is none of that, okay? Your ass is going to get beat till it's black and blue, and you're going to not be able to sit on it for a while, and you're going to realize you fucked up. So I'm coming from a different type of like, you know, background with it. Not saying that's appropriate now because I'm obviously living in a different country, which is you literally only could ground a kid, I guess, right? But we live in a pussy-wise society. So Dwight Howard posting this video, all people could see is the kid crying. I'll play the video. Let me see. Here we go.
Come on! Come on! Come on!
I can't do it! No, I can't! I can't!
Come on!
What do you want me to do?
Don't worry about that. I want you to do it till I tell you to stop.
What?
Go, start! Let's go! Come on! Come on! Pick it up! Pick it up! That's it! That's it!
I can't!
Let's go!
This is too hard!
Let's go!
It's too hard!
Okay! Can't even go hard on the last sip.
There you go. Now, I call this a great fucking father. You know what I mean? You know, masculinity these days is pretty much shamed. Like, you know, I have like no side shots to my man Adam. I have a running theory of why I feel like his shit is going super, super viral. I think in the future they want especially black men to be cucks. Like, just straight, emasculated, walking around with a mangina, letting your bitch getting fucked by niggas with a 20-inch dick. You know what I mean? Like, all that type of stuff, that's what they want men to be. They don't want men to actually, be there in the homes. They don't want men to be there in their kids' life. They don't want men raising other men who ain't complete bitches. You get what I mean? I guarantee if this was a video with Dwight Howard painting his fucking son's nails or copping him a dress, they would have been like, oh, so fucking brave. Oh my God, look, he just copped his son a fucking dress from I don't know what this Forever 21. Great, they love shit like that. But him trying to, he's an athlete, probably trying to want to work out with his fucking son. Like he in the gym, he want his son be in the gym. Whatever I do, I want my son to do. It's a mini-me. That's some fuck out of here. They're shaming him for it. Now, here comes a clout chasing baby mama who couldn't stand the fact that he was getting attention for this, because actually some people were kind of upset, but some people were like, nah, that's dope. We like seeing fathers being fathers. But a bitter baby mama is always down the road, or a bitter woman, to fuck up your fucking day. So she comes in, she says, not someone pretending to be a parent one day out of 365 for the cameras. Don't make Thursdays turn into Truth Thursday. Now, again, I'm telling you, man, it only gets worse. Now, this is her exposing this nigga. All because he posted a video of him with his son having their moment. And he was getting some decent responses. She says, I guess somebody in the comments told her something. It's like, don't tell me to do ish. This man is evil. Y'all fall for it every time. Ask him why he's telling a 12-year-old he's gay because he hasn't touched anything or watching porn with them. Better yet, why it took you 4 to 4.5 years to fire that nanny that molested two of his kids. I got time today. He took this little boy from his grandmother that raised him and kept her in court for 2 years only to give him to his parents while he was overseas. Get the fuck out of here with this bullshit. So, while y'all constantly out here pointing fingers at me, understand there's a reason why. Then, listen to this shit right here, man. I'm telling you, man. By the way, this is how bitches talk when the money train slow down. Here you go. Oh, and don't say this is for the internet while she posts this on the internet. Don't say it's for the internet while I post it on the internet. And don't say this is for the internet because y'all put this ish on the internet. You don't think I'm going to defend my village? I'm from the hood, like really, really from the hood. Imagine waking up to a server saying your son's father is suing you and others for child support when he can't even pick up the phone because he's scared. But then boom, let's gather them and go to Six Flags with cameras. We spent 2 months there during the pandemic. For quarantine, I got bit by a whole ass Malamute dog, however you spell it. And they immediately want me to sign an NDA asking me to be his matriarch and how he missed me while his other exes showing up begging him back. We snuck it out. This is the thing. How did a post about his son go to talk about you and him fucking? We don't care. But let me tell you this. Bitches always make it about themselves. This is about a kid. Now it's about her. Don't ask me to be ask me to be this matriarch and how he missed me while his other ex showing up begging him back. We snuck out of that house at 3:30 after he threatened me. I believed him. This man pays blogs not to post anything good about his exes who are extremely smart. This is the problem with these hoes, man. They have no occupation. Like, he's a basketball player. Actually, we shouldn't even really be talking about him unless it's basketball. His baby mamas, who got no fucking skill at all, they're worried about why the blogs don't post them. What world do we live in, people? This man pays blogs not to post anything good about his exes who are extremely smart, educated, and talented. But you want to believe a massively redacted report? Now, let me stop right there. Apparently, there was if you look on TMZ, it was said that she had caught, like, a child negligent charge for some shit. Like I would probably have to look it up to get the full details. So that's what she's trying to defend against. She's saying, I'm not the bad parent, he is. Okay. Then she says, ask how that got out. This is why he's quiet. Y'all praising grown men on the registry. What? Because you like their music or think they're cute, but want to bash a 12-year-old for doing what his father told him to do. I work with kids, have my entire career. You know I don't play about that. Fully triggered because they have no idea what this man is doing to us behind closed doors. They think I'm lying. I have videos and texts. I keep everything. Remember, I have 20 plus phones. What the fuck? Here's a crazy bitch. I have 20 plus phones. I take this way back because of shit like that. Then she says demon time is still cancer season. And she says, oh, and no, I did not agree to being a matriarch in his polygamy quest. That's another reason he got mad. I deserve better. Have a great day. Now tell him to leave me the fuck alone. Okay, yeah, this was a report. Court documents revealed that Royce Reed's underage son allegedly engaged in inappropriate conduct with a minor and claims that led to a child negligence charge for her. So I guess her son did some weird stuff with another child, and obviously because maybe the parent was supposed to be supervising them, she caught a charge for not being around. All right. Regardless, man, just taking it back to the original post that really kicked everything off, I don't have a problem with a father trying to motivate his son, trying to get his son in the same mental mindset instead of having some soy cuck master that's going to be in the cuck seat watching this girl get plowed by some nigga named Jason Love, okay? We just got to be honest. We got to allow men to be men, fathers to be fathers. And, I think toxic masculinity, the idea of toxic masculinity has actually removed the idea that masculinity is good at all. They have chalked up all masculinity to be toxic. That's one of the few things that I can say when it comes to Tate. I'm all the way with him like, shit. I don't think you get successful men without raising a resilient person, someone who works hard, someone who could overcome adversity, someone who, doesn't resort to tears when shit get tough, but they fight through it. And again, I see the embodiment of that right here. So I'm not mad at him. But of course, a fucking baby mama who always want to steal the show is going to come with talking a whole lot of shit. All right? Okay. Let me see what else. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. They want all y'all niggas in dress with your nails painted. Let's see what else. Okay, cool. Oh, I ain't gonna lie. Since we on the topic of basketball, man. I finally came to the conclusion. This is Marcus Jordan. This is Michael Jordan's son. And I gotta be honest. I was watching this video. Okay, this music, I don't want it to fuck up anything we got going on. I realized this is Marcus Jordan, Michael Jordan's son. This is Larsa Pippen, Scottie Pippen's ex-wife. I think she's near 50. He's like 25. You know what I realized? I was kind of blaming her for a while. And I finally just realized Marcus Jordan's a fucking loser. She's going to follow anywhere where the money is. You can't really have too much high hopes of women. They sniff around and they find the next bag no matter where it is. You know what I mean? She's old as dust. All due respect to her. I met her. She looks good for her age, but come on now. She's 50. You know what I mean? Come on. Anyway, he got some type of inheritance from Michael Jordan, but I'm going to tell you why I believe this guy's a fucking loser. I'm going to tell you why. I believe he couldn't live up nearly to the pressure of being in Michael Jordan's shoes when it came to being an athlete. So he couldn't add to his legacy. And that's one of the things. I don't know if, I'm a junior, so my father has the same name. one of my sons eventually is gonna have my name as well. It's about legacy. I hope I've surpassed my father. I think this nigga realized once he couldn't play a lick of basketball, he realized he was a Class A Division III bum. He realized that there was no way he could try to outlive or even extend the legacy that his father created. And I think this is why he's resorted to doing some lame shit like this. He's resorted to dating his father's ex-teammate's ex-wife. And this is the only way he could make a dent or even make a headline to seemingly be in that storyline construct of what his father has created. Because trust me, I'm telling you, there's a burning desire that he wants to be. Trust me, no son wants to be a fucking loser. No son wants to be a fucking loser. I think the only reason why he's fucking on Larsa Pippen is because it makes it feels like he's furthering the Jordan family name. You get what I'm saying? It's not like this nigga like Bronny. Like, you can tell even Bronny and Bryce are going to do some shit. This is the only way he could connect himself to that legacy. And again, I ain't saying he should have been hit. He should have hit Shorty and dipped. But him wifing it, even Jordan, I think, recently came out and said he don't even agree with it. It's like, look, this is what Jordan said.
Hey, Mr. Jordan, what do you think about Marcus and Larsa Pippen together? You approve of it?
No.
You don't approve? Do you think he's going to ask her to marry him?
I'm telling you, man, I believe that Marcus Jordan, I think he's just doing that loser shit, just trying to figure out where he could extend the legacy of, the Jordan brand, the Jordan family. I just think that, brother, you can't do it by fucking a chick who used to be, like, nigga, Future fucked her. Like, come on, dog. Like, my nigga. Like, you're not over here with some prize, okay? Brother, go figure out where your legacy could lie. And it might not be on the court. It might be in business. But for me, it feels like this is only a move to try to be, I don't think it was meant to make your father proud, but try to continue the legacy through the family tree. You get what I mean? I imagine, I ain't gonna lie, imagine having like Donald Trump as a father. Like, when I met Donald Trump, I was looking at his sons, and I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers have to live up to him. And no matter what you think about Donald Trump, former president, one of the richest motherfuckers that was out here, and and a very slick talker, someone who could be considered as a leader of men, this and third. His son's got to live up to that nigga. You get what I mean? And I watched like, I was watching the family dynamic, and even like his son Don, like I could see like he had like that burning desire of like he wants to impress his father, like he wants to, like do more shit, which I just think is normal. I think people want to impress either your father or your parents, or you want to continue whatever legacy they had. So I look at this Marcus Jordan nigga, and I'm like, this nigga's lame, man. You supposed to hit that and get over with it, nigga. You over here wifing and thinking like this is the one. All right, cool. Hey, chat. Somebody said, are we talking about one is third week versus Thug second? Nah, we not finna. Nah, we not allowed to. All right, let me see. This Britney Spears and like Wembanyama thing, I don't even know how to say that nigga name. How was it? Britney? Okay, so I didn't get to really cover this yesterday, but Britney Spears got like bitch slapped. Apparently, you know, by the way, I think, I don't know how old some of y'all are. Y'all can spam me our ages if you want, but you know, there was a time Britney Spears music was just everywhere. Whether you liked it or not, it was up to you, but it was definitely everywhere. If you are interested in, you know, just these pop cultural arcs of, you know, some of these super popular pop stars, you get to realize that Britney Spears has been through it. Like, she was very popular, but people feel like she lost it at a while. Like, she eventually ended up in a conservatorship where I think her mother or her sister controlled everything about her life. Eventually she kind of, you know, got out of that, and people have been rooting for her, not even just on, hey, come back and do music. It's like, yo, we just want you to be happy. Because especially when you have a musician that has given so much of themselves to make other people happy, you hope that eventually they are happy themselves. Regardless, and I don't know why this pairing happened. Britney Spears, this dude Wembanyama or Wembanyama, whatever his name is, this tall looking motherfucker right here, he's like 7'5". He's the new guy everybody's saying is like he's the hottest since LeBron James. Everybody's on his dick, but we know there's another one of him, like, well, I won't say every couple of years, but I feel like they were also on Zion's dick for a while too, right? And now look who's on Zion's dick, right? Mariah Mills. Ruined that shit. Anyway, they're saying this guy is basically Giannis and a few other players into one. He had his debut game, actually it's tonight, in Las Vegas. He plays for the Spurs, and apparently while he was like, you know, obviously in Las Vegas, walking through with a group of entourage, somehow Britney Spears, who you see here with the blonde hair, ends up behind him, and I guess she tries to kind of reach out to him. Don't know if she knew who he was or whatever the case is, and they're saying she got slapped. This is the video. Right there, right there. Oh, okay, I see in it. I guess I guess they didn't know who she was. She reached out trying to touch him, and I guess the guy next to him just kind of tried to slap her hand, but I think it slapped her in her face. Oh shit. Oh. Damn, poor Britney, man. I like Britney. Britney's so unproblematic. She just stay out the way and just dance in the room, man. And you know I like Britney too. Britney got no mother. Yo, Britney, one of the reasons we used to think white bitches never had no ass. Like, her shit flatter than a motherfucker, flatter than an iron board. You know I respect her. She still ain't get a BBL, man. She still be out here just dancing with them flat ass cheeks. She don't give two fucks about nothing. Okay? So she's just doing her thing right now. But yeah, and I'll be rooting for her. I just want her to be like mentally happy. Okay. Doesn't really show what happened much after that. I think this is her. Britney Spears. Does she have Instagram? Damn, she got 42 million? Yo, Britney, you too lit to have these fucking problems, man. Nah, I fuck with Britney, though. She be doing these little goofy-ass dances. I ain't gonna lie, her shit was flatter than a motherfucker. She the reason we thought white bitches never had no ass. Like, yeah, nigga, this shit was crazy. Yo, chat, when was the first time you seen a white girl with ass? You're like, hold on now, wait, what the fuck? What the fuck? But anyway, she's unproblematic. I hope she's, you know, mentally great. Yeah, all she be doing is just kind of like just dancing. Look, this is all she do all day now. This is her all day. I don't know, man. I don't know if she was on that. Was she on that powder? That crack? I don't know what the fuck she was on, but regardless, she looked, she all right. I'm probably back. Let her chill, man. Somebody says, talk about confess 2 times again. Wow. You were 6 years old when you first seen a stacked snow bunny? Nah, Iggy was double cheeked up, though. That's a fact. Somebody says she's on drugs. What type of drugs she on? The original Pink Power Ranger was Holden? Pink Power Ranger. Let's see. Is this the original one? Nah, I gotta see the... Fuck. This her? Nah, this is sick. I can't look. I can't try to see if a Power Ranger got fat ass. That's wild. Y'all are tweaking on me, man. Okay. Listen. I knew I wasn't tripping, people. I knew I wasn't tripping. You know, some people like, nah, act you hating, you ain't get invited. I'm like, bruh, like something just off, man. So anyway, 50 Cent commented on, you know, Lil Bebe being in a double stuffed Oreo. You know, one man has him in a full Nelson chokehold. The other nigga, you know, so tenderly grabbing and touching on his spinal cord. You get what I mean? He's looking like he's in the heat. He is in joy. He's just in he's in a moment of pure motherfucking, you know, just love. And 50 kind of like comment on it. He say, yo, see, this is why I don't do no party with Puffy. Say, this is why I don't go to no party Puffy and them at. The fuck going on here? Get the fuck off my young nigga. What the fuck? Yeah, I gotta be honest with you, man. I keep telling you, this shit is weird. This shit is weird. Now, I hear some people say, nah, and I think Ski Master Slump Guy was in the comment section. He said, yo, y'all really be taking this shit too far. He says, yo, it's probably like a bad angle. He said, look, he probably hugged him for 2 seconds, y'all. For 2 seconds, y'all niggas gay for real thinking some other shit. Lil TJ wasn't on that. He's like, I'm out. Fuck that. You get what I mean? Somebody said being sandwiched between 2 grown men is crazy. The reverse double stuffed Oreo is crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That is nuts. That is complete nuts. Nah. Hey. Is this a humiliation ritual? For me, it told me what the power of the dollar could do. It told me what the power of the dollar could do. Because if you haven't seen, Lil Baby dropped the corniest song he's ever dropped in his career. And remember I told you what the whole play is. Michael Rubin and Robert Kraft, they don't like niggas. They got daughters that don't date niggas. Matter of fact, the only time they're with niggas is at these events. Do the math. Their kids don't date niggas. Their kids' friends ain't niggas. Their friends ain't niggas. They don't really like niggas. But when it comes to these events, they're with the niggas. I told y'all this. These individuals realize that people like Lil Baby, Meek Mill, and others are the cultural currency key they need to the black community to push their products. Michael Rubin just sold his stake in the 76ers. He has this new company that's valued at some wild amount of money called Fanatics. It's going to be selling merch and all these other things. And who does he need to push these products? Make it cool. Nobody promotes some shit and make it cool better than black people. So, okay, what do black people like? All right, let's just throw a big-ass party. Let's fly them all in on helicopters. You know niggas are very impressed by little and nothing. But here's the thing, too, because all these guys are rich. You get to realize how much money controls just so many people. If you ask these rappers why they're hanging with the billionaires, they'll tell you some dumb shit like, well, if I hang with 3 billionaires, I'm gonna be the 4th. They'll call you all type of shit. You know what I mean? Wait, why are you not hanging with your niggas in the trenches? Or why are you not hanging with your homies that like you grew up working with or whatever, or like you've met along the way? Why are you hanging with these random white dudes who I've heard these niggas talk? They don't got the same interests as y'all. They don't even understand, they even admit they don't understand the culture. Why? It's, most of these rappers are looking at it by proximity. Number one, which I think is a little interesting and funny, they feel honored that these billionaires would even hang with them. That's a mind fuck in itself. They become damn near the groupies for the billionaires. They're looking at it like, damn, this guy want to hang with me? Maybe he sees something in me. Like I could one day be like him. So that's a little odd in itself. But they all convinced themselves that basically being around this environment, and by the way, here's the funny thing too. We're not hearing that these billionaires are necessarily starting companies with them. I ain't gonna lie. I think Meek with the Lids thing, I think maybe one of these guys are involved. Let me check it out. Meek Mill Lids. There was somebody else. There was a co-owner. There was somebody else that did that. Regardless, here's the point I'm trying to say. These billionaires ain't really trying to do partnerships and be like, yo, let's do this merch company which we both own. They're using them just like endorsers. So what ends up happening? Lil Baby gets put in the reverse double stuffed Oreo. And then he drops on his Instagram. By the way, keep in mind, let's think about his career at this moment. He dropped an album that a lot of people weren't that fond of. He should be thinking about dropping some really hot shit really soon. Instead, he puts out the corniest video promoting the company of the billionaire that he was just in the reverse double stuffed Oreo with. Look, here it goes. It's called Merch Madness. By the way, read the caption. Merch Madness. Recently, Fanatics donated $20 million of merch to 100,000 kids, so I teamed up with them and a long list of greats to make it even more special.
Jump back in my bag, this one for the culture. Ain't too good to give, my cup been running over. Made these millions for the kids, I gotta turn it over. It was rough, but I made it happen. I came up, but I'm still at it. Real trench, baby, business with Fanatic. This like 20 million on a giveaway. 20 buses, 20 cities, stadium to stadium. See they idols giving back to them, making people go crazy. I get paid when I appear. To do this, I volunteer. This is not a one.
Now, I'm not gonna play him like he's an idiot. Do I think Lil Baby got paid for this? Yes. That's not the issue. Also, I didn't have an issue with him or anybody else going to the party. My thing is, why when y'all link up with these billionaires, y'all always get embarrassed? Y'all always getting laughed at. Y'all always look like you're in compromising positions. You could do partnerships with people where these aren't the things. And also, you don't need to be kicking it with your so-called business partners at all these parties where you're constantly, on the floor of the bathroom. I think that's a little weird.
Time thing, it gets better every year. A lot of people pulled a lot of strings just to make this happen. Real people really do exist, but they might call it Merch Madness out into the globe. Jump back in my bag, this one for the culture. Ain't too good to give, my cup been running over. Made these millions for the kids, I gotta turn it over. Merch Madness out into the globe. Jump back in my bag, this one for the culture. Ain't too good to give, my cup been running over.
So then I asked y'all the question. Did Lil Baby sell out or did he cash out? This song is garbage. They're going to frame it in a, they try to frame it in a philanthropic way. Oh, Fanatics gave away mad shit to kids. Yeah, that's the tagline to get you to go support it. They're not giving away to you. They want you to buy it. You click on this shit. You'll see the reason why he's been treating every rapper like a flown out thought. You're going to see it when you click on his page. These are the most influential rappers in the world and influential athletes and everybody else co-signing the shit out of this fucking merch company that nobody gives a fuck about. All right, it is what it is. That's the question, man. Did he sell out or did he cash out? The song is horrible. Like, we don't give a fuck about oh yeah, we're giving back to the kids. Hear this thing talking about the song slaps. No, it don't. Shit's trash. Whatever. Congratulations to him, though. I'm pretty sure he got some hefty sum of money. I just want him and others not to get embarrassed no more. The embarrassment got to stop. Got to stop with the embarrassment. Somebody said, I'm crazy, Fanatics is lit. I don't even know what it is. It's a merch company, ain't it? I don't really know what it is, so maybe it is lit. But it don't defeat my overall point. I feel like these billionaires are using the equity from these rappers to promote their businesses that's going to make them more and more billions over, while these guys are just happy to be around them and possibly collect a little bit of a check. And here's my thing. Again, maybe the check is so big that you don't mind getting put in a reverse double stuffed Oreo look, and you don't mind getting, like, being seen that you're in, like, some humiliation ritual. Maybe the check is that big. I just don't think selling cultural currency, when especially it's at the expense of your cultural currency, is really worth it. The more y'all hang with these niggas, y'all seem corny, and y'all seem to keep getting embarrassed, while they're trying to use you to get their products lit. There got to be a middle ground. But don't listen to me. Somebody says, Ak is Dr. Uzman now? Who the fuck is Dr. Uzman? You mean Dr. Umar? All right. All right, somebody said I'm slick hating. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. I ain't slick hating, man. I'm just tired of these niggas. Like, bro, if Michael Rubin choke out another black man, yo, y'all got all this energy and y'all rap too much about killing to get choked out by a white dude every time y'all go to this party. I'm sorry to say. Like, I'm sorry. I gotta just say, brother. If Michael Rubin has put his hands around, he put hands on y'all like y'all slaves. I keep telling y'all, like, when I see y'all in pictures with him, it look like Django Rechained. How about if the picture was the opposite way? I'd be like, oh yeah, these niggas they having their way. Oh shit. Oh, these niggas treating the white party like it's Zone 6 Simpson Road. Oh shit. They rolling dice in the court. No, this nigga got y'all like y'all always look like a punk when y'all around him. Y'all always look like a punk. Y'all a bunny hopping, rolling around the ground, like, you know what I mean? Like play whack-a-mole. I don't know what's going on, man. That shit don't sit right with my spirit. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. That's all I'm gonna say, man. It don't sit right with my spirit. Again, if it was some cool shit, like there's some niggas that I be seen doing the cool shit. I'm just wondering why it's our favorite, most popular rappers that's from a certain environment that has certain influence. They always seem to be looking and be presented at a certain way. I might be tripping. It's okay. Okay. Somebody says you gotta talk about Uzi dissing Roddy. That diss was so vague. Hey, speaking of which, did y'all see that Cardi premiered some new song overseas? Yo, my nigga, I'm gonna be honest with you. this nigga Cardi is so fucking lit. I think Cardi's probably the most lit artist for the younger generation currently. Just so a few things. I think when I listen to Youngboy these days, I hear Cardi influence. I think on Uzi's last album, I hear Cardi influence. I hear Cardi influence in all these other dudes too. I'm sorry, I just think Cardi got it right now. Like, I'm just being honest. I'm going off influence. I'm going off how rabid, like, you know, people are still with his shit. How great he sculpted it by actually not really being present, but I know he is present. And I ain't gonna lie, man, this motherfucker is just beyond lit. This dude is just beyond lit, man. Somebody says yeet. I know. Well, I hear Cardi. I hear Cardi and yeet. I hear Cardi and everybody. Somebody said, like, somebody was giving an interesting breakdown. They said Cardi has people falling in love. I think Uzi even said it to me too when we were in studio. He says music now is more about people falling in love with like a feeling, or like a vibe or whatever it was. That's the music that seems to be going up rather than, you know, some of these songs that's necessarily that people used to like, that it's about a lot more emotion and stuff like that. Sometimes it's just about like a particular vibe. That's what people just are in love with that. It's kind of like interesting. Now, apparently, like, you know, this opium shit is like, it's getting bigger and bigger, which I think I got to give Cardi a lot of credit in doing something that, again, he's really slick at in creating. I told Nicki Minaj to do. There's a time where all these girls wanted to be Barbs. I don't even think like these new girls, like, I don't think Sexy Red is like, I want to be a Barb. Like, Sexy Red, like, come on. Sexy Red looked like an ugly version of Young Thug. Like, you know what I mean? Like no disrespect. I like Sexy Red. You know what I mean? She's non-problematic. But still, you know what I mean? I don't think these girls grew up on some, oh, I want to be a Barb. You get what I mean? But there was a time that most women did grow up trying to be a Barb. I remember saying, Nicki, instead of trying to beef with these bitches, just sign these bitches. Now, she did start a record label like about last year, and I think she's trying to sign some people now, even though I think she's only like dropped a few songs via the label, but she hasn't signed people yet. But what Cardi did that was dope is that Cardi signed these motherfuckers to this opium shit, which is like a record label. And he got this as like a whole movement. And everybody's just opium, 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 opium. Like, that's all I fucking hear and see. And now, with like, without really ever, like, I think people, we got to take some notes from Cardi. Like, look how his artist has benefited or have succeeded without Cardi even really fully pushing them. When I look at that compared to even like Drake and OVO, I'm like, it's interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like, Drake don't really push the niggas on OVO, but they don't really go nowhere unless you're like Party. When it comes to like Cardi, you don't see him like aggressively pushing these guys, but because they're part of the movement, they're part of the wave, they're intuitively pushed already. Which I guess I think, if I'm going to go back to the OVO comparison, maybe what Drake should have done that I think Cardi is doing is Cardi is signing people that's under his umbrella of sound and style. So his fans already are inclined to like him, and him signing them is the cosign they need to support that person. Do you get what I mean? Somebody said Drake gonna push your ass to the basement with a pen and a gas mask. So I said Cardi artists can shine with their own albums. Yeah, but do you know how hard it is to even get to that point? So I said people already fuck with Party. No, fuck with Destroy Lonely and Ken. You know, definitely. Definitely. So I said a new Party is hard. Your grand said that? No, of course. Yo, obviously, you got to realize, obviously Party Next Door goes through his own things, but I think Party Next Door would be bigger than like a Bryson. Like, he would be huge. Obviously, I don't think he would be The Weeknd, but Party Next Door would be huge if, even if he wasn't on OVO. Cardi also got Homicide Gang? What's that? Somebody said Drake is also painting his nails. Did Cardi put him on there or no? Hey, also, speaking of which, man, I know Travis Scott's been elusive recently, but we got a little bit more proof that basically says that, Utopia is coming soon. Cash XO confirms The Weeknd is featured on Travis Scott Utopia. And here's the thing. We don't know when Travis is going to drop. I think, he's setting up a crazy bundle package because I think, obviously bonus are back. But I think also he's trying to fix his situations with possibly doing a tour. He hasn't really performed since the whole thing with Astroworld. Obviously that happened. I believe that was like a Live Nation thing. There's so many lawsuits flying. I think a big tour by him, I don't think no huge companies going to want to touch it, despite the millions it could make, just because they're going to be looking at it like, yo, we don't want to take on liability. And also to ensure the show, it might be ridiculously crazy. So I think he's been trying to iron those things out before he drops. But I think that Utopia has kind of been done. I've been watching them doing this whole rollout. I'm excited to hear what he got. I think he's going to drop a banger. And I think whenever he drops, it's going to be like he never missed a beat. I see Travis doing at least 400,000 whenever he drops. Somebody says they confirm he's not getting charged for Astrofest. That is true. So the police, they ran to a grand jury and they said that Travis Scott will not be charged for, the people who got injured or for the deaths at, Astroworld Fest. But here's the thing. That's not what's going to matter in him doing more concerts. It's going to be those civil lawsuits. Like, those civil lawsuits don't really matter about if he's criminally liable or not. The civil lawsuits are going to more focus on, is Travis Scott, civilly liable or even partially liable for damages based on his actions and being the fact that he was one of the main concert organizers and also the face of the concert. So most of these people probably sued the venue, Live Nation, him, maybe even Ticketmaster. Everybody got to get sued, right? And usually what happens is they'll figure out a way either to settle it or it's probably going to be some settlement. But until they get to that point, you're not going to want Travis Scott really on certain stages, I would imagine. But it is Travis Scott. So I think he's going to have that fixed if he didn't fix it already. Somebody say he just performed. I'm not talking about just performing one time somewhere. I'm talking about him having his own tour. Like, for him to announce a tour. Showstopper, I think you're a little bit late, buddy. We did cover the 03 Greedo and 1090 Jake thing. Somebody said the families are going to get fat bags. Shit, they're going to. Right, here we go. While they aren't facing criminal charges, Scott and promoters Live Nation and Score More still face billions of dollars in potential damages over hundreds of civil claims alleging wrongful death, personal injuries, and negligence. Those have been wrapped into one large multi-district litigation in Harris County. Okay? Several attorneys representing the plaintiffs in a civil trial either didn't respond, blah, blah. He has denied the allegations regarding responsibility of a disaster, previously motioning for suits to be dismissed. Festival promoters Live Nation and subsidiary also motioned for them to be dismissed. Yeah. What would I have done if I was at that concert? Yo, listen, we're all human, bro. It's so hard to even judge Travis in that situation. One thing I will say is, though, Travis Scott's concerts encourage an environment of pure chaos that you should know that some shit like this could have happened. Like, the culture at his concerts and some of the instructions he usually gives out usually lends to more chaos. And you got to think about the worst scenarios, and this had to be one of the worst scenarios. Now, is he trying to get people killed? No. Has he done a concert or a show, maybe not exactly like that, but somewhat similar like that, to that has never gone wrong 100 times? Yeah. Okay. I see everybody talking about the Uzi and Roddy Rich thing. So, okay. Here we go. So, on Uzi's latest project, he has a song called Died and Came Back. And he basically says, your voice don't sound the same. Get your range back. When the fuck did they bring these lames back? You said you fucked my bitch. I fucked your bitch too. Now, this is after, there were like some beef between them where essentially, let me see if I can find it. Roddy Rich kind of just came out and was like, I fucked this nigga's bitch, right? Like, so he basically, Uzi clowned him for his boots. He was like, what the fuck, big ass boots, right? It was random. And then basically Uzi came out, Roddy came out and said, niggas just mad. He said, and just mad these size 8s. He said, well, he said, you just mad these size 8 was in your bitch. Get over it. Basically saying that he smashed, I'm guessing, JT. So that's why Uzi now raps, yo, your voice don't sound the same. Go get your range back. When the fuck they started bringing these lanes back, you said you fucked my bitch. I fucked your bitch too. And then he then says this, but you ain't even go get your chains back. They ran up in your crib and took your platinum plaques. I thought you was whatever. I thought you was Crip. What's up with that? I think that's what it is. I thought you was Crip. What's up with that? Now, also on Aston Martin truck, Roddy had rapped the lyrics, niggas not on my level. Why you mad? I fucked your bitch. Had to say it because you talking, ain't trying to rub it in. And people thought that was at Uzi. I don't know what type of... Yeah, this is like the short nigga beef, man. This is kind of odd. Let me see if I can find it. Roddy Rich, Uzi beef. Gotta have one of these niggas that kind of try to explain it. I don't know where it stems from. That's the only thing I'm confused by. I don't know where it stems from. Now, they definitely did diss each other. If you ask me, I gotta call a spade a spade. I think Uzi, who loves his girl, I don't know, we seen him call out Yachty before, and apparently Yachty used to date JT, so he a type of nigga who love his chick so much. I don't know if she's like, when they get mad, I don't know if she's like throwing these niggas in his face type shit, like, yo, yeah, that's why I fuck so-and-so. I don't know, but he randomly, it seems, went to address Roddy Rich and even Yachty at the time. So I got to think that Uzi, that's just how Uzi's like protective and so much in love with his girl. But the rapping back and forth, it don't really look like, you know what I mean, they're on any type of timing with each other. I know Uzi mentions that Roddy got robbed, but that's not some shit that has anything to do with him. By the way, did we? Let me see. Roddy Ricch house robbed. Oh, here it goes. Wait. Huh? Did it ever get reported that his house got broken into? Okay. I think this is the house right here. What the fuck? Yeah, I think this is the house though. This the house. Yeah. Okay, I guess this wasn't public, so I'm guessing Uzi's talking about some shit that maybe niggas in LA know. But regardless, though, like, yo, come on, man. Like, we as men gotta stop beefing over these females, man. You know, again, if it's just straight about, let me see, so what is it? Did JT respond? Wait, let me see. Did JT ever respond? No, right? What the fuck? Yeah, I don't know nothing about his beef, but all I could confirm is that they don't like each other, man. And I'm assuming that the woman in question is JT. When did Roddy Ricch smash JT? I don't know. It probably was before Uzi's time, but Uzi's sensitive about his girl. I get it. You love your girl. You don't want to hear nobody fucked her. Cool. All right. Let me get to the 6ix9ine shit real quick, and then we'll do the manager of Rich Homie Quan. So this 6ix9ine shit is kind of getting a little bit out of hand now. I am hoping for peace, and I'm praying that nothing happens. But these guys, they are in a very small section of Miami, and they both run around frequently. They're both outside. Anuel is a nigga who's a street nigga from Puerto Rico. He rolls with street niggas. He not no punk. And 6ix9ine, even if you don't want to consider him tough or gangster nothing, he's definitely stupid. He's a guy who, you know, he's not going to be hiding, which we could call stupid, especially when you have a lot of problems. Recently, what happened, and I don't want to get into the whole Spanish translation shit again, they went back and forth. Anuel basically said that, yo, 6ix9ine, yo, you're a rat. You're a pedophile. You dealt with like girls underage back in the day. You're just a horrible person, and I can't believe people are actually like feeding into the bullshit you're doing. And what was the bullshit? 6ix9ine's been running around with his ex-wife and like baby mama and giving her a lot of money. And now his baby mama is claiming that Anuel used to beat her. So that's one of the things. Apparently, 6ix9ine was pictured with Anuel's newborn baby, which obviously that is a super red flag. Yo, me and you into it, and you taking pictures with my kid that was just born just because you got access to my baby mama. Shit is serious. They went back and forth kind of like exposing this, exposing that. And now you have 6ix9ine who's saying to Anuel, nigga, let's meet up and fight. Now, it's all in Spanish, so you won't understand it, but this is essentially what I'm hearing. He wants to meet up with Anuel and squabble.
confundir los fans tuyos, tú sabes, la audiencia, que tú eres un gánster, que tú eres así. Yo te conozco a ti, tú no eres así. Tú andas con pilas de seguridad, tú andas, tú sabes, con bola de tigre. Yo te conozco a ti, tú no te gusta fajarte con la gente. Te lo juro por mi madre, para la gente que no sabe esto, te llamamos a tu papá, te llamamos a ti, te llamamos a Pancita, te llamamos a todo el mundo y te dije, mira, yo quiero pelear contigo, vamos a fajarnos, vamos a encerrarnos en un cuarto y fajamos, vamos a fajarnos. Mira, olvídate lo que pasó, tú y yo vamos a fajarnos. Tú me dices dónde tú quieres encontrar, nos fajamos tú y yo, nos cerramos en un cuarto y nos fajamos, ya. Y terminamos esto, vamos a fajarnos, tú y yo, vamos.
Okay. Apparently 6ix9ine may have posted a picture of his mom. Like, it's a lot of shit going on. You know, like, you gotta really be tapped in, like, to really know what the fuck going on. Then apparently, like, let me see if I could. Okay, I think we got her page now. Apparently, she posted a picture of. Let me see. She posted a picture of, or a video. It was like a leaked thing of Anwell like threatening. I don't know, bro. Let me see. Oh. Yeah, I know a leaked video y'all talking about. Only if I can find it. It was today, I think I seen it. Is her name Yalin? Okay, I can't find it. But anyway, his baby mom posted a video of Anwell threatening to kill anybody if they got close to her, like all type of crazy shit. You know, I hope cooler heads prevail. One thing I'll say is that, man, 6ix9ine is a professional at getting a nigga to crash out. And well, unfortunately, your baby mama or whoever, she is weak in the sense of it only took, well, I mean, this is a lot of money. It took about $1 million, and he spent $1 million. He spent the million. This is the thing with 6ix9ine, man. 6ix9ine will spend so much money just to get a fucking point across. Like, imagine spending $1 million just to, you spending $1 million on your ops ex-wife and baby mama just to embarrass him. I don't know if that nigga's losing at that point. But regardless, 6ix9ine does it, right? Yeah, I can't find the video. Regardless, from what I'm being told by everybody, they all say.
Me estaba escribiendo que iba a matar al Alfa, que iba a matar a los Foques, que iba a matar a Rochi o a Arcángel si lo veía conmigo. Yo tengo todo eso.
Tú sabes que yo no juego,
Qué bueno que lo está.
Yeah. So, I ain't doing the Spanish translation tonight, man. I'm just saying, over another situation over a woman where you have now apparently Anwell's reputation is like almost getting evaporated and going to shits, and people only want to talk to him about this. He was having a successful career, you know. 6ix9ine was not even on his orbit, but now 6ix9ine's into this Latin shit, and 6ix9ine is fucking doing everything he can to force these guys to engage. And now with them putting out information that maybe Anwell used to beat his baby moms, used to do these weird ass other things, Anwell now his reputation is in jeopardy and he got to respond. Now people are thinking that shit's gonna get serious because 6ix9ine's playing around with this man's family, and once you get like that, you know, some of these Spanish motherfuckers they don't be playing, man. Like, you know, whether you're in the Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, they be getting it in. So a lot of people are worried either for 6ix9ine or just worried something's gonna happen. Period. I hope nothing happens, but I do think, you know, just like how he always does, 6ix9ine is straddling the line and he's playing it so close where you're almost making it where somebody got to do something to you for them to redeem themselves. And you never want to push somebody to that point unless that's what you're trying to get into as well. Yeah. 6ix9ine up to his normal things. If you ask me, he would probably say to me, I haven't talked to him about it, but he got some song called Pati. And he would probably say, Yo no te perdí. He would probably say, for these views right here, 39 million in 3 weeks, he'd do it again. That it's just 6ix9ine, right? Like that's for him. It's all about numbers. It's all about these type of things. I don't think he gives a fuck. So whatever his plan is working. All right. And well, man, you got to learn how to ignore that guy. That's the only way. Trust me. It's the only way it happened in hip hop. If you think you're gonna do otherwise, you're gonna be crashing out, and he gonna be chilling, doing it to another rapper later. All right. Let me play this Rich Homie Quan Manager clip. So a lot of people, and I'm watching, like, the industry is kind of becoming, like, they're all becoming so fucking frustrated with 1090 Jake. They hate. They're now kind of coming up with this narrative that, it's this white boy trying to take down black men. Here's what Rich Homie Quan's manager said in reaction to all the things that came out about him. I'm going to grab some water.
I had to come in the house real quick. Scrape from what I had to do, sit down, and I had to come to my culture real quick and ask y'all to listen to me real quick because we being attacked right now. We being attacked in our culture right now. And I don't think y'all motherfuckers understand what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all really understand what's going on. We being attacked. Some shit happened the other day. I had made a video about this snitching shit, right? The same day I made this video, I get a text message from one of my brothers about my brother. Bro, how you feel about this? Shit pissed me off like a motherfucker. Shit pissed me off. I said, oh shit. Because in my mind, I was thinking that some shit that had been going on that had been told to me happened that didn't happen. So I sat on it. I thought about it. Motherfuckers called bro and said, hey, bro, if you give us this, you know what I'm saying? This is what he telling me. We won't leak this video or whatever. Bruh said, y'all gonna leak that shit anyway. Do what you got to do. Right? But in my mind, I'm thinking this was some present shit, but this was some past shit. And y'all know who my brother is. Artist, Rich Homie Quan. And the video that I had that I was finna put out, I said, damn, if I put this video out right now, all this shit just happened all in the same thing because I had already felt a certain type of way about people putting all this shit out about T.I., Boosie, Boston Richie, just every artist now Finesse 2 times. You know what I'm saying? Every artist that's in our culture has to come down this slippery slope of saying they said T.I. They have to come down this slippery motherfucking slope of saying they snitched or they ratted at some point. And my problem with this is this. The big problem that I have with this is, in our culture, why the fuck are we allowing these white boys to go out here, put this negative ass shit out here? They created a rat emoji. Y'all understand this? They created a rat emoji, put it on social media. The white boys go make these fake pages and put that shit out there. Now our culture is following this negative ass trend of saying, oh, you ratted on somebody. You ratted. Or you snitched. When there's no real definition of what this shit really mean, right? Y'all take this video of Quan speaking his mind about something that he feel happens to somebody that he loved dearly and saying he snitched. Well, I'm a real OG. I come from the streets for real. Today I'm gonna say that I come from it. I'm no longer a part of that street culture or none of that, but to be in it is always to be in it and to be a part of certain shit. I no longer indulge in street activity. I no longer get involved in none of that stupid ass mentality of saying I'm street, but I come from it. I'm from the projects. I'm from the hood. I've been around this shit all my life. A lot of my family is still in the hood, still doing street shit, all of the above. But what I always thought snitching was on my end was me and you we orchestrated a crime together. You know what I did, I know what you did, and I go and I tell the people exactly what we did, what we thought about, how we pulled it off, and all of the above. I got a cousin that was ratted on years ago. I stood through the whole shit about some shit that they did together. That was that. But when a man started to give his opinion about how he feel about certain shit, don't get me wrong. Certain times you can talk a little bit too much or whatever, but all y'all pussy ass niggas do that. I don't think it's a man in this world have never talked about some type of business or some type of way they felt to anybody. I don't give a fuck who you talking to. Like I told my buddy the other night in the room, at some point, nigga, all niggas done snitched or whatever, because you leave from a certain situation, you go home, you tell your old lady tell her partner tell her partner. You leave from a certain situation, you go tell your partners in the room what just happened. It's one or two dudes in there that wasn't a part of it. They just heard what happened. Nigga, you're telling, because you're not keeping it to yourself. One thing I always did after I got in my shit when I was young and I had a nigga tell on me, I seen the dude that told on me and I said, damn, bro, what made you do that? And he said, bro, I ain't know how you were coming. You ain't know how I was coming. I ain't know. I just had to do what was best for me at a particular time. And I was young when this happened. And I understood that. And I said, you know what? Because we never had no discussions about this shit beforehand. Neither one of us had been battle tested in terms of how we was going to react to certain shit when it happened. But at the end of the day, he did his time for what he did. I did for what I did. He lived to see another day. I lived to see another day. He had to go to jail, do what he had to do. He did what he had to do. But take your own motherfucking accountability. A lot of y'all don't even understand. Y'all don't be taking accountability for what the fuck y'all be doing. And the biggest thing you want to do is, oh, such and such told on me. So y'all know how we need to kill this. Oh, I'm going to tell on you shit. We need to stop killing each other. Stop robbing each other. Stop planning to take this and that from another. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking down on each other. Stop doing all this negative shit to each other in groups. You know what I'm saying? To where nobody can't fucking tell on you. Because guess what? We shouldn't be killing each other. We shouldn't be plotting on each other. We shouldn't be out here negatively talking about who snitched on who and who snitched on who. And we letting these motherfucking white boys put this shit out here on social media. They not talking about who snitching on their side in their culture. And I've had a couple white people DM me and say, yeah, we don't even talk about that. That's not even how it goes on that side. Because guess how it go on that side? If I'm in business with you and you do something negative towards my business, them motherfuckers want you to tell. They want to know what the fuck you doing. And I'm not saying it's right. Don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not saying it's right, but what I'm saying today is culturally, we need to kill the demons in the room of letting these motherfuckers come out here, my mixtapes, No Jumper, Jake, whoever the fuck he is with this accent, talking about all this bullshit. All y'all motherfuckers probably got paperwork, then did some pedophiles, you know what I'm saying, fucking with little boys, fucking with little girls. Ain't no telling what the fuck y'all following on these social sites with these motherfuckers. You can pull me up, motherfucker. You'll never find nothing on my tape. So when I get on this motherfucker, I'm talking in a positive manner towards my motherfucking culture. But my culture is now finessed 2 times. Jake put up here today, I just read it, and it was time for me to say it today. Oh, somebody sent me this paperwork. That's just like in our situation. And it's not my situation, but I'm a part of it. And that's my brother, and I stand beside my brother. He's sitting on the motherfucker talking about his sources in Atlanta. Well, let me say this to the world that's been looking and waiting for me to say something. If you had a motherfucking source in Atlanta, and if Quan been telling, it wouldn't have been no mistrial, or it wouldn't have been no they waiting. The shit would have been gone if a nigga was telling, if a nigga had something to tell. Because the video that y'all got was from 2016, 2017. So why the fuck your sources ain't been gave it to you if you got a source, you bitch ass motherfucker? Why the fuck I had it before you did? Since your sources. But since y'all wanted me to talk, I'm talking. Because I'm tired of our culture shitting on each other. The reason my social media platform is still intact today is because everything I do is for us to be able to look at shit in the light and stand together and stop going against each other. Stop killing each other. You don't got to like me, but don't want to kill me. Stop talking down on each other. You don't got to like me, but don't talk down on me when you in the room for something that's going to benefit me, unless you know I'm just the most. I had to come in the house real quick. Scrape from what I had to do, sit down, and I had to come to my culture real quick and ask y'all to listen to me real quick, because we being attacked right now. Or we being attacked in our culture right now. And I don't think y'all motherfuckers understand what's really going on.
Did it start over yet?
You know what I'm saying? I don't think y'all really understand what's going on. We being attacked. Some shit happened the other day.
Okay. All right. Conversation continues. I don't give a fuck, man. Yeah. Whack 100 is back at it again. Whack says, 1090 Jake, you're all cap. Man said he never spoke to you, but we got the work. Huh? What the fuck is... What the hell is Whack talking about? Whack got Clubhouse on his back. Whack 100. Let me see. Let me see. What did Whack... Must have said something earlier? Oh, it's exclusive. Whack talks to Finesse 2 times co-defendant. Here we go.
Be back. This is the Big Jizzle. Are you the one that been in communication with 1090 Jake?
Yeah, earlier, yeah, something like that.
Gotcha. It looked to me like I've been watching 1090 Jake movement, man, and he kind of like, I think he seemed to be feeding into accepting some type of payoff or some type of hush money over there because he's slowing up. But at the end of the day, the content gonna content, the paperwork gonna be paperwork. Everybody share the room, ping up, share the room. You shared the room, let's share it again. You know, end of the day. Much time on this? 5 years? How many time y'all doing this?
8.
I did 8 years, 16. Okay, so 2008 to 9, 16, so 7 years. So everybody gonna wanna know, man. They gonna say, why now? Is it that it been out and because he wasn't who he was, it didn't really get no traction? Or is it y'all just decided to?
All right, brother. I'm really snitched out right now, man. I just can't. I can't chat. I can't. What did I want to? I wanted to react to this thing, yo. Hey, there's this YouTuber, and I try to not. I hate jumping on like the bandwagon of either calling people out or shitting on people, especially when I feel like they're getting it from all sides already. But I ain't gonna lie to you. I gotta react to this joint right here. So Piers Morgan had.
Welcome back to Piers.
Let me see if I could. Okay. So there's this woman named Pearl. She's in this red pill space, and where I think the red pill space is at now is that after Kevin Samuels died, literally, like, the Rollo Tomasi nigga, he's an idiot. Like, he's just an old geriatric fuck that don't practice what he preach. Myron pretty much runs the whole thing. Like most of Myron's talking points is kind of the most pervasive things within this new red pill thing. There's other people saying other shit, but they don't get no traction. Anyway, this woman, if you ask me, she found out the cheat code. When men are doing the talking, saying the same shit about women, they're seen as, oh, he don't like women, blah, blah, blah. So what she did was basically study all Myron's talking points and essentially just started using them, right? Now, she made them way more extreme than he is, and that's kind of hard to think if you know Myron from Fresh and Fit at all, because some people think he's extreme already, but she went crazy. Like, for example, she has, like, ideas like women shouldn't vote, this and third, and a lot of people do believe, like, she's a grifter, whatever the case. Anyway, she made it onto Piers Morgan, where she was explaining her point of view on certain things. And I want to play this and watch this with y'all. And it just sounded so ridiculous. And I don't want to dunk on her, but I do want to give her some advice. Here we go.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Pearl Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern feminism. The New York Post called her the female Andrew Tate. So she tapped into genuine female pushback to the excesses of wokery, or is she just an attention seeker? We'll find out in a moment. But first, let's take a look at the clip that sent her viral.
A lot of people think I'm insane because I don't think women should vote. Everybody thinks I'm crazy for this opinion. If anything, this is probably my most extreme opinion. 90% of women have been on birth control. 1 out of 3 women has had an abortion. 1 out of 3 women has an STD. Average body count is over 5, so that your average wife has slept with over 5 people. 95% of women are not virgins on their wedding days. So I understand the complaint.
Okay, well, Pearl joins me now alongside political journalist Ava Santini, who was nodding furiously along there to everything she heard. Right, Pearl, you've been called the female Andrew Tate. How do you plead?
Well, I take it as a compliment. You know, I'm a fan of it.
She's not the female Andrew Tate at all. Like, you know, Andrew Tate kind of separated and elevated himself a lot from a lot of red pill talking points. Andrew Tate these days have been talking a lot more about family. The red pill space seems to still be primarily obsessed with trying to explain to niggas who can't get pussy how they can get pussy. And if they can't get pussy, they try to put the girls down that won't give them pussy.
Andrew Tate.
Of everything he says?
It depends what we're talking about. But overall, I think he's got a good message. I think he's good for young men.
Okay, look, you're talking about women predominantly, which is why you've got this big following. And your view is that modern feminism is deeply flawed. I would argue a lot of your proposals, like taking the vote away from women, are deeply regressive.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you want to remove, just from yourself, the right to vote?
Well,
So, this is where it gets frustrating. And by the way, you know, salute to her. I think she follows me or something like that. Shorty. Like, you look and sound ridiculous when you're arguing for something that helps you. At the core of things, we humans, even if it's a double standard or anything that benefits us, usually we're not trying to campaign against removing it. Her thing is that even though she's a woman, she believes that no woman should be allowed to vote.
What happened was I had the same view, right? Back when I started, I was like, why? I found out that only 5% of women wanted the right to vote. And I couldn't
By the way, that's the Myron talking point.
figure out, like, why would women not? No, it's true. It's true. If you look it up.
At the time.
At the time.
Because they've been conditioned by men
If you watch Fresh and Fit, Myron said the same thing.
to think that they shouldn't have a vote.
Except I think when he quotes it, he has some context to it. She just memorized the quotes.
I mean, that's what they say, but, you know, I started reading their writings, right? And what I found out was that the reason a lot of women advocated for it was because they believed it was the beginning of the breakdown of the family. You know, before you became one in marriage, 85% of people were married. And, you know, I hate to say it, but they were right. What has happened 100 years later?
What's that got to do with them having the vote?
Well, it also goes back to responsibility.
Another Myron talking point.
Again, men are 80 to 90.
Myron has a talking point, responsibility without authority. It's like, yeah, we've heard it. If you watch Fresh and Fit, you've heard it a million times. This is why she sounds so dense, because she sounds like a parrot repeating what somebody who has a little bit more context and a lot more, you know, like he could actually debate. You just seem like a talking box that could just repeat the headlines or the summary points of what he says.
90% of the military, they run all of the infrastructures that make society run. So I just think if we want an equal say in society, then be equal. Do 50% of the hard jobs. Be 50% of the military. In the U.S., they're fined $250,000 if they don't join selective service, which is essentially the draft.
Okay, but specifically on the vote, what would having the right to vote have to do with family cohesion, for example?
Well, because again, before you weren't trying to divide a family. It was one family unit. You had one vote for the family. I mean, I don't think it's good for a family to have 2 votes.
Ava, your mouth seems to have dropped about
No, do you know what it's sort of
feet.
like?
I know.
No, it's just sort of a bit galaxy brain. I feel like, you know, the stats that you're putting down are...
Okay. Can we just acknowledge how ridiculous this chick sounds, bro? Like, yo, my advice to Shorty is that I get you trying to, like, I be telling y'all, like, y'all be looking at some of these people in these spaces and thinking that they're here to save you. They're content creators. They're here to fatten their pockets. That's it. Like, these niggas ain't Jesus. You get what I mean? Like, yeah, if you get helped along the way, cool. But they're here to fatten their pockets. When I hear this girl Pearl, it's 100% clear to me. She probably was thinking, what's the easiest content I could make? And she realized, if me as a woman co-sign what these niggas are saying, and I just keep, and I say women are bad, even me, it's going to run it up. That's what she's doing. It's kind of like, it's kind of so low in the threshold of even having some substance, unlike these other guys she's trying to copy. That's what infuriates me, I think.
Perhaps correct in some universe.
Which stats?
They just kind of don't really add up. I mean, just to take you back to the to the women's writings that you've allegedly read. I mean, at
allegedly.
The time, well,
what do you mean allegedly?
At the time that you're talking about, you know, women weren't really allowed to write. They weren't allowed to go to school.
Yes, they were.
Write.
Yes, they
so
were. That's incorrect. The first female property. The first female property owner was in the 1600s. The idea that women couldn't work and couldn't.
I'm so sorry, but that would be inherited property.
The first female millionaire was in the late 1800s.
And was that inherited?
So no, it wasn't. It was self-made.
Yes, it was.
Self-made. Yes, it
and
was.
She never inherited land.
Yes, she did not inherit it.
What law permitted that? What law permitted that?
Well, there was no law. I mean, there's always been women that were influential in history.
Let's get on to the vote. So what I don't understand is, you know, a part of your message. I've researched you today. And hang on a minute.
Okay.
You know, your big push is that you care about men and you don't think that men are getting enough of a say. But
well, I care about
hang
women
on,
too.
I haven't made the point yet. Because of feminism. Okay. What I wonder is, when you start making calls out like repeal the 19th, women shouldn't be allowed to vote, how is that helping young men? Because these young men have women in their lives, they have mothers, they have sisters, they have teachers, and they turn around, they don't know how to act around women because you're giving them license to be misogynistic.
I wouldn't call it misogynistic. I say be equal. So again, men do all of that. Well, then, okay, I'd love for the feminists, please apply for the oil rigs. Please go do the hard jobs in society.
Yo, Pearl. You sound like Pearl. My only thing I wish you would do is stop speaking for us men. We have men that speak for us men that's more in tune. If you think that all niggas is doing hard labor jobs, that's not true. I speak for a living. Is it hard? No. Do I deserve a vote while a woman does not, based on my job? Like, please shut up. Like, if she was at least very smart and calculated in really making these points, I would rock with it. But what the fuck is an oil rig? Like, you don't even know a nigga that work at an oil rig. Where does this fucking, like, you just sound ridiculous.
They're open, they're hiring, because I don't equate for, I don't think men or women are.
Let me tell you this, and maybe this comes off misogynistic. Listening to Pearl, one thing Pearl is right about. The more she speaks, the more it confirms to me that maybe, well, let me not even say that. You know how she tries to say women should just basically be non-existent in the society? She should not be non-existent in society. The more she speaks, I realize why she feels so lowly about women, because she just say dumb shit.
Are equal until we do the equal work. So no, listen. Go apply to be on the oil rigs. Go be a plumber. Go be an electrician. Go be on the front lines of the military, and then we should have equal rights. But until feminists are willing to do that, I don't believe we should have the freedom without the responsibility.
Okay, well, I don't think that I'm physically built for that. You might be, but I'm absolutely not.
But you
said you were a volleyball. Wow. You said you were a volleyball player, and so you've got more strength than I do. I don't think.
But
that
I don't have more strength. I don't have more strength than the average man.
I'm not going to take your right away.
I don't have more strength than the average man. But again, it goes back to go be a plumber. You want to be equal, go be equal.
You also, but you want divorce to be made illegal.
Yes.
Why?
Yes, because I don't think what we have today is really marriage. What is marriage? It's for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. That's what marriage is supposed to be. But feminist.
This is another This is another thing I hate about. We have a bunch of people. I think she's 26. We have a bunch of people who are in their 20s who have never been in a successful relationship, who have never been in a long-term relationship, lecturing people and trying to give their thoughts about how families should behave and families should be, what marriage should look like. This chick don't have a kid. This chick ain't been with a nigga for longer than 2 years. So just think about this. This is like the idiocy of like listening to some of these people. The bitch who never had a boyfriend for over 2 years, don't got kids, ain't nowhere close to be married, got all the ideas about what marriage should be, how families should act, and how being with a partner long term should be. Does that make any fucking sense? How do you not have any real world tangible experience in dealing with these things? You don't have a kid, but you talking about how families should move. Somebody said, that means she'll know what she's talking about? Well, she's trying to define what marriage is. Here's the thing. When people say that there should never be no divorce, because there was some other guy who said that even if there is physical assault, like if the woman is getting beat, she should endure it. She should not be able to leave despite her getting abused. You got to be a fucking idiot to actually believe that to be true. So it's easy to say, oh, let's think about the ideals of what marriage means. For richer, for poorer, for sickness and in health, for whatever, for better, for worse. You shouldn't leave. It's easy to say that when you ain't never married. I don't know some of the struggles that come along with marriage. Personally, I wouldn't really want to get into it. Now, could I tell a married couple how they should be fucking enduring? No. This chick don't got no real... And by the way, I hate when y'all say... When you're talking about people's actual lives, this ain't a science book. That's one thing also I hate about the red pill shit. This shit ain't black and white. It's a lot of gray areas when it comes to life. And I'm sorry, if you don't have some experience, it's like a nigga who has never fucked a bitch telling you how to fuck a bitch. I'm sorry. It takes a little experience in this fucking thing called life. I'm sorry. This ain't no, so yes, nigga, if you never done it, don't talk about it. That's just the reality of it. Like, you can't study life in a textbook. These theories that they're putting out sounds good, but that's not what life is. Has your life been according to a textbook? If that's the case, nigga, y'all should all be really successful and living the perfect lives. That's not how life goes. So when you have these motherfucking idiots, and you have people who, you're a woman, you have no idea what a man got going through. You have no idea what the pressures a man has to go. And also, here's the thing. You're saying stuff that's because you think that she thinks the red pill audience or men who like that content are so dunce that she thinks, oh, if I just diss women, y'all gonna like it. No. Because as much as I might be like, some of these bitches ain't shit, this and third, when I hear, oh, women shouldn't vote, I'm like, wait, why not? Like, wait, why is that such a big deal? Women are humans. They have issues that are decided by politics. Why don't they deserve a vote? But of course, you got these people who are grifters that's trying to make their cash by just saying anything. You get the woman who's shitting on the other woman.
Have ruined marriage for the people that actually believe in marriage.
How?
When there's a 50% divorce rate and the average marriage
Why is that all
8
down to the
years.
women, though?
I didn't say that it was all down to the women.
It's why feminists ruin it.
You asked why I want divorce to be banned.
Yeah.
Can I finish that first? So I'm saying, the people that believe in divorce, go be in long-term relationships. Leave marriage for the people that actually believe in for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, in sickness and in health, till death do us part.
But doesn't the sanctity of marriage also rely on the woman being a virgin, so you wouldn't be able to get married?
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity of marriage, then you.
This is another thing too about these grifting ass motherfuckers. They're the do as I say. Again, bro, she's repeating Myron's talking points with no examples, and her life isn't the example of anything she's saying. Her life isn't the example of anything she's saying. She's saying women should shut the fuck up, play the background, go cook clean, look nice for a nigga to eventually wife up. This bitch ain't doing nothing of the sort.
What do you mean?
Well, you've spoken quite openly about how you're not a virgin, and so if you want to preserve that sanctity.
And the only reason why I even got to call this out, because as much as I told you I ain't into that red pill shit, it's just that, like, there is some objectiveness to it, some objective truths that come through the shit. When you get idiots like this that just act like, oh, all women are bad and she's a woman her damn self, you get to be like, yo, bro, like, you making this shit look like everybody involved is a clown. Like, I seen her on here, and then I seen her on H3 podcast. I'm like, you let that nigga embarrass you? That nigga shitted on her. Is it this? This nigga shitted on her, dog.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to
listen to this shit.
But what does blue pilled mean?
People that see the world for how they'd like it to be, I guess.
Okay.
I don't talk much about, I guess, like blue pill, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. We don't have to focus in on that. So I've noticed that one of the primary focuses of your content is kind of the problems facing men and how there's so much unfair societal pressures or norms or expectations on men. Why is it that you're so singularly focused on the troubles of men?
Grifter!
Why am I focused on the troubles?
This is another thing. Like, no disrespect to her, but, like, I'm going to just keep it a beam, man. Like, that wheel in her head not really moving too fast. Like, the little hamster not really running too fast. I could tell. She had talking points. But I hate anybody who only got talking points. You got to be able to think, be quick off your feet. You can't be like she's thinking of a talking point. She got no talking points to answer this shit.
Of men. And that's an interesting way to, I guess, phrase my content.
What you mean, interesting way? That's what you do. You shit on women. You're a woman. And you basically say men have it bad. Now, we're used to that content from other niggas. Like, that's what niggas talk about. These bitches ain't shit. When we have the bitches agreeing with us saying, yeah, you're right, these bitches ain't shit. We're like, what the fuck? Bitch, we talk about you too.
I would say I think it's unfortunate what happens to men in divorce court. So that's probably what I talk about.
What the fuck does this got to do with divorce court?
About the most is I think that men should have access to their children.
That's not what you talk about the most. You definitely talk about stuff like pay gap myth. You talk about men want younger girls. You talk about men are just doing what's in their nature. You talk about women who have higher body count are less desirable. I'll be honest, I've watched a lot of your stuff, and the vast majority is not about divorce court. It's about this kind of like dating coach stuff.
No, I wouldn't say I'm a dating coach, but okay.
No, but that realm, you know what I mean? Like, I don't mean you're a dating coach, but like that kind of realm, it seems that you're super focused on. So what is your interest in that? Manosphere, maybe that's a better term, manosphere stuff.
What is my interest? I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. So that's what we talk about.
Money.
Okay. That's fair. So what is, you say you're anti-feminism. Feminism was basically a mistake. Before we get into that, what is your message? Who are you speaking to? And what is it you're hoping that they take from this?
I mean, I just believe in speaking about things that are true. And I think a lot of times as women, we're told that we can just wait forever, get married at 35 and have a bunch of kids. And that's just not true.
Who's saying that?
I just think it's the message that's pushed by the media and culture today. So
the media is telling women to get married at 35?
I mean, what have you ever seen? Like, what's a homemaker that's on TV?
You mean like in a sitcom, or you mean like in a
No,
reality show?
but I'm saying like we don't have them in the media and the culture.
Oh, you're
Like
saying,
family
where's our
really isn't.
homemakers?
It's really family really isn't pushed. And so
Now, you see, through the bullshit she's talking about, I definitely think she's the wrong messenger. Overall, I do think families need to be more emphasized, right? Like, because I think we don't emphasize family and relationships, and I always say love as well. It's the reason why niggas is getting their bitches fucked, you know what I mean, and liking it. Like, I'm telling you, I just think that's what it is.
I'm not saying it to dog on women, but I just think a lot of times like we're lied to. I mean, we have men are called ageist if they don't want younger women. You know, men are constantly shamed when they have a standard. So
Another fresh and fit talking point.
it's not. I mean, that's like a conversation from a 3-hour episode. I don't remember the
I've
content.
heard you bring it up a lot. I know that.
Yeah, because it's true, and a lot of times it's women.
You're speaking to women. You're saying past 22, your value is going down. And,
yes,
and your
to
message,
men, your value on the sexual marketplace. So your value, like that doesn't mean like your personal worth. I'd like to just clarify that, but yeah.
And so your message to them is nothing. You're just saying that because it's true. I mean, why not just say the sun is hot?
Don't wait till 35 to get married. Get married as young as you can.
Right, get married as young as you can.
Yeah.
Now, you seem to offer a lot of advice to. Who you're mostly giving advice to women, would you say?
I wouldn't really. Okay. I wouldn't really.
Excuse me.
I guess sure.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, I think I've heard you say that even. And then so men.
Like I wouldn't say I'm like an advice channel. Like do this, do this, do this. I mean, it's more talking about the state of relationships today is a better way that I would put it.
So as men get older, not like super old, but their value goes up. And as a man's value on the sexual marketplace goes up, they're looking for younger virgins, right? That's important. And so any woman who's not...
Well, historically, virginity has always been a prerequisite for marriage. Like 100 years ago, 85% of women didn't admit to premarital sex. So, it's more abnormal now that women are not virgins anymore.
Do you know what an appeal to tradition is? What we did 100 years ago doesn't predict anything.
Well, I'm saying the outcomes are better for women. Like the outcomes are obviously better. We have more women on antidepressants than ever before, and it's tough because there are studies both ways when it comes to female happiness. But most of the ones that I've seen indicate that women are unhappy over a certain age without children, that most women wanted to have kids at some point in their life. And I just think, and you can see what happens in front of you. Like you're not blind. Women are happier with a family.
It depends on the relationships. But
tax families, which
the
I think
life expectancy was like 50. You enter a relationship and not think that he's a loser because he's low value. Relationship with a man and not think they're a loser. Because if you're a low value woman, then...
Oh, no, this is the only part I wanted to play. He basically gets her to shit on herself. Watch this.
Right.
What do you mean?
Here we go.
Men want younger women. We watched this whole clip. So I was just trying to basically apply it to your life if I can. It's like, older men, when they have money, they have status, they're going to want a younger and more virgin woman.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a bit of a question, and I'm being honest here. Is it possible and you look at men, right, in terms of like their viability. You look at men and say, he's a high value man, he's a medium value man, he's a low value man, right? And we could say that. We can put men into those categories.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's say you're in the dating field, right? You're looking for a partner, right?
What do you mean?
I mean,
Sorry.
you're single essentially, I guess, and you're looking for a significant.
Maybe, maybe not.
Okay.
Okay.
So, if you're looking for men, if a man who is willing to settle, let's say you're not that old, but you're 26, and you say that anyone over 25 is like almost damaged goods or getting worse and worse.
No.
It's less valuable. It's less valuable.
Correct. Yes, I would
Yeah.
say I was more valuable 5 years ago. Yes, in terms of the dating market. Yes.
So do you think that how can somebody who's older and not a virgin and less valuable, how can they get in a relationship with a man and not think they're a loser? Because if you're a low value woman, then in a sense, you be judging the guy who's quote unquote settling for you because he couldn't get a higher value woman. So in a sense, a guy that you would settle for would be a loser by your own metrics. Low value.
Well, what are men supposed to do? 95% of women aren't virgins on their wedding days. You could be a multimillionaire and not get.
I ain't gonna lie, man. You're shorty, get your money, man. But listen, yo, next time you do an interview, man, you got to be a little bit better read. You're too surface level, and at least if you're gonna repeat Myron talking points, at least learn the rebuttals that come with the follow-up questions, please. Okay. All right, man. What else did I get at? Uzi sales have been finalized as 165. Rollo Rodriguez did 36K. Somebody said hop off Myers. It's not being on Myers' dick, bro. But they're literally just repeating what the nigga says all the time. Steph Curry wife, nigga, I do not want to talk about Steph. What the fuck did Steph Curry wife do now? I don't get the whole Steph Curry thing, man. Leak Yaya with Anwell. That's what y'all want? Gunner outsold Thug. No, he did not. Thug outsold Gunner by like 3,000. No, it doesn't really matter. Somebody says, I act like he was the first nigga who said it. Nah, he's not the first nigga who said most of those things. But if you're repeating it using the same analogy and verbatim as he said it, I know you heard it from him. That's it. Oh, man. All right. Shit, chat. I'm tired, nigga. I got a Burna Boy concert tomorrow, man. I'm getting the fuck off of here. I'll stream tomorrow after the... Am I streaming after the concert? No, I'm going to stream before the concert. So I'll catch y'all niggas in the morning, man. All right. Send me some more topics. I'll talk about it in the morning, but I'm about to go catch a nap. I got Burna Boy concert tomorrow, but I'm gonna stream before it. And I got a few podcasts lined up. If you guys have been missing Off the Record comes back next week. So starting on Monday, you will get a whole bunch of new episodes. And also, I got a big episode. If this episode that I'm about to pull off, I already have the #1 interview with Dirk. That's a fact. And by the way, salute to Elliot. I know y'all interview Youngboy, but trust me, my Dirk interview is better. I'm sorry. I am going to break the entire internet with this next. Well, it's not happening like immediately next, but I got a podcast lined up, and only me could beat my previous record. So whatever I did with Dirk, I'm gonna beat that. All right. Don't you worry. It is on the way. It's loading. I can't say nothing else. Okay? Anyway, I want to tell y'all so bad, but I can't tell y'all until it's done. It is like done. You feel me? I can't tell y'all no more. All right, chat. Yo, I'm gonna see y'all in the morning, man. Yeah, go get some rest. Go watch Wembanyama, whatever that nigga name is. And yo, Pearl, if you saw this, I ain't trying to be mean to you. I fuck with your hustle, just brushing up, shorty. You know what I mean? Like us niggas who want to support you, you making us look like clowns, man. Like, fuck out of here. Other than that, I'll be back on tomorrow before the concert. Love y'all. Talk to y'all tomorrow.